This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This very episode of The Weekly Planet, the one you're listening to.
Oh, this very episode indeed.
Yes, indeed. It's brought to you by Harry Shavers. The ad's later. You have to do a thing up top sometimes. It's a whole lot of stipulations on all of these different, depending who the advertiser is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just a little peek behind the curtain, Mason, for you.
I loved it. Felt like I was in the room as we were making an ad. Felt real good.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, The Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James Olsen, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, my co-host, Nicholas Mason.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, we had a sneaky look behind the curtain just then. But we also had one last week because your wife came in and filmed us sneakily. Sneakily.
Like
and
a
people were very perturbed, I must say. If anything, I think, because some people, sometimes you listen to a podcast and you're like, I wonder what it's like. I bet it'd be a fascinating look in. And I think the vast majority of comments were like, I don't like this at all. I don't like this. Nah.
They sit slightly further apart than I thought.
Well, that got in my head. So when I came here today, I sat slightly closer. And then you're like, you can't sit closer because it'll mess with the ambient noise or whatever.
If I want to mute one mic, it's easier if you're sitting further away. So I've pushed him even further than ever.
Is that
before.
A threat? It's 1 week you're just going to cut my mic completely in the edit.
If there's a weird mouth noise or whatever that one of us makes, I mute it.
Or the dog's cleaning itself right next to me.
Yeah, there's that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know, because the edit, I don't cut a lot out of it, but it's just when I go through it, I remove stuff like that, which isn't a lot, but it's good to know that it's there. Yeah.
Sometimes I have a terrible cold.
Yeah.
Most weeks I have a terrible cold.
And then it blends into hay fever, and then it's back into cold.
That's right. Then I've got heat stroke, and it's just me complaining about my aching joints.
Absolutely. Speaking of hay fever and allergies and heat stroke,
this is going to be an amazing
You went on
segue.
Dragon Friends, a show for nerds.
What a twist. That's good.
No, great show.
Yeah, so back in March, our friends over at Dragon Friends, who were in Sydney normally, they came to Melbourne for a live show, and normally they don't record them, but this one they did, and I was on it, and it was originally just a Patreon bonus episode, but now it's on a bloody free feed because their normal season is over.
Absolutely.
So if you're looking for a way into that, if you want to ease yourself in, I'm on an episode. It's an out-of-continuity episode, so you can just jump right in. And if you like it, and you should, because it's a really good show.
It's a very funny show.
Just get in there. And they sort of break it up into like different genre storylines. So there's like a Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons style season, and there's a Ravenloft Gothic horror season, and there's a cyberpunk season and whatever, and they play Dungeons and Dragons. It's really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
They have a musician who helps out, Benny.
They
as
do,
well,
that's right, yeah.
Which adds a little bit of flair and flavour,
yep.
would you say? Yeah. No, and also you don't need to know D&D to listen to it.
That's true,
either.
yeah.
It's just a funny show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hate saying that, Mason, because I hate admitting it. No, it's great. Speaking of Mason, though, of things going on things, I went on an episode of Filthy Casuals this week, and we talked at length about how EA fucked up Battlefront 2 in a big way. Also, some good things, but mostly how they botched it in a big way. Yeah.
It's the gaming industry's biggest controversy this year, I guess.
Yeah, since Charles Manson, somebody said Marilyn Manson made somebody shoot somebody in a video game. Remember that used to be the thing in the 90s? That was it was video games. Your kids are going crazy because they're playing Doom or whatever.
I remember other rumors about Marilyn Manson, but not that particular one.
He got blamed for the Columbine massacre.
Oh, right, okay,
I think I just mixed up my 90s outrage kind of thing. But yeah, but no, it's a great episode. Also, I'll link both of those below. They're well worth checking out. Both of them. Actually, I haven't listened to yours. Mine's definitely well worth checking out. Is yours?
Well, I've listened to yours, and I was there for mine. So I'm going to say Dragon Friends slightly better.
Okay, fair enough. Mason, we've got some news.
I'm ready.
I know you know that, but I'm not sure you know the specifics of it. Here we go. Jude Law, young Dumbledore. You're excited about that, obviously.
Sure.
But he's also been cast as Dr. Walter Lawson, or Mar-Vell, the Kree warrior, for the Captain Marvel movie.
Right.
So what's the difference between your Mar-Vell and your Captain Marvel, and your Shazam, who's also Captain Marvel?
Okay, so Mar-Vell is the reverse justification why the character is called Captain Marvel in the Marvel universe. Right. So his Kree, his alien name is Mar-Vell.
Yes.
And so when he came to Earth, I assume there was a scene on the street where somebody went, Marvel? What are you, some kind of Captain Marvel? And he went, that's what I call myself. It's me, Captain Marvel. At your service.
So legally they couldn't, or was that the idea? Or they didn't want to get themselves in some hot water?
I think at a certain point, Captain Marvel is a generic enough name that anybody. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, way back in the day, Fawcett Comics created.
Is that Fawcett as in faucet or as in force it?
It's FAWCETT, so it's neither of those things.
Oh, what?
That's right. So anyway, they created a character called Captain Marvel, who was the young boy Billy Batson, a young orphan boy, and he says Shazam, and he gets the magic powers of Captain Marvel.
Zach Levy's playing him. It's all big and hot news.
Terrific.
Yep.
No idea who any of them are. But anyway, so at the time, he looked very similar to Superman, and he had, he can fly and he's super strong and he's invulnerable, etc. So DC sued Fawcett Comics, and they very shortly thereafter went out of business. And then later on,
because of that,
I don't know actually.
Probably didn't help.
Yeah, yeah. When the biggest, if you're a small comic book company and the biggest comic company in the world crushes you, probably
it's a hindrance, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, DC later purchased the remains of Fawcett Comics,
right,
and decided they were going to integrate Captain Marvel into the regular DC universe. But at that point, Atlas Comics had become Marvel Comics. This is in the 60s. And they acquired...
When were they Timely Comics then?
They were Timely, then they were Atlas.
Okay, gotcha.
And then they became Marvel Comics, and they acquired the trademark for all comics that had Marvel in the title. And so by that point, DC can use Captain Marvel in a comic book and call him Captain Marvel, but they can't put him in a comic book with Marvel in the title.
Right.
Which is why every comic book from the last couple of decades with Captain Marvel in it has been called like Power of Shazam or The Trials of Shazam or whatever, because they can't call it Captain Marvel.
Gotcha.
Where are we going with this?
Well, Mar-Vell
Yes.
he was the original Captain Mar-Vell for Marvel.
For Marvel Comics, yes.
Right,
correct.
So do you think he's going to act as some kind of mentor for Carol Danvers?
That's a good question. I'm going to say no, if only because in Ant-Man we got Hank Pym acting as the mentor for Scott Lang, and so maybe they don't want to just do a carbon copy of that. I think maybe we'll just see him in flashbacks.
I'm wondering also if he's going to be Dr. Walton Lawson, if it's going to be like a Donald Blake situation where he's not Mar-Vell, he's just a guy. So,
right,
do you know what I mean?
sure.
So they'll just kind of wipe that character and just go from the Brie Larson Captain Marvel.
But wouldn't it be weird if he wasn't? Do you mean he'd be an alien? Are you saying that he would still be the alien?
No, he could just be a guy called that.
I don't like that at all. What's
Mason,
the point? What's the point of him existing?
What's the point of anything, you know?
It's a really good point. I have to leave and contemplate a lot of things.
Yeah, but they reference Donald... What I'm saying is they reference Donald Blake. I don't think they'll do this, but they reference Donald Blake in Thor.
Yes.
And he's just a guy.
Right.
Like he's not... He's Jane Foster used to know him or date him or something. I can't remember.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm not sure we're just going to get that straight up comic book.
I think
situation.
we are.
Okay.
I think we're gonna. I think maybe they won't say his. I think maybe she will get the name Captain Marvel from him,
right?
Because his alien name is Mar-Vell.
Yeah.
But I think, and I don't think if he were Captain Marvel in the past, in like the 80s, I think there'd be some evidence of that in the modern Marvel universe. So I think maybe they'll go, okay, well he had these powers in the past, and now he's passed them along to her or something, and now she's Captain Marvel.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. So
There you
she's
go.
like, "This is my legacy."
Exactly.
Or he's like, "This is my legacy." I'm Jude
And then they
Law
can both
from
be
Elf.
like, this is our legacy together. They can harmonise.
We've been talking a lot of Jude Law lately, haven't we?
Yeah.
Dumbledore. We mentioned Alfie last week, how his balls didn't work in that or whatever.
Correct.
He's back, Mason.
Back
He's
in a
back
huge
in a big
way,
way. Yeah, I
yeah.
like Jude Law though. I'm okay with him.
Because what's happened is he went from youthful and super handsome to that awkward midway point.
Yep.
And
then King Arthur shot him back into the public consciousness.
That's right, back into superstardom. But you know how child stars, they start out really cute and then some of them become handsome adults and some become hideous.
Yep.
He's at midlife crisis actor where he started super handsome and then he sort of
He's Ralph Fiennes in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Exactly. And he's hit Silver Fox kind of territory, I
He's
think.
got the Widow's Peak situation.
He's a real young pope, you know what I mean?
He absolutely is. Did you end up watching all of The Young Pope?
I watched none of The Young Pope.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. A young pope. Can you imagine such a thing?
I cannot.
Yeah. Can you imagine Lizzy Caplan joining the Gambit movie?
Yes.
Well, she has.
Wow.
That thing you've imagined is real, Mason.
No, to be clear, I can imagine it, but I haven't imagined it.
Okay, right.
You're presupposing that I have imagined it. I have not.
Very good. Now, my understanding was there was another. I think she's the female lead.
Okay.
There was another. That role was filled by somebody else, and then it all got delayed because Fox were like, "We don't know what
Are we doing this anymore? Are we still doing this? What's happening?
Yeah, but
What's in our slate? We don't know anymore."
I couldn't even tell you who it was originally, or even if this is the same character. But I like Lizzy Caplan a lot. So
Me too.
Great. Remember, she was in that Mar-Vell one shot.
She was.
I thought she was going to come back.
47,
Yeah, I
yeah.
thought she was going to Agents of Shield it. I think that was the idea. Maybe initially, was that like
Yeah.
a backdoor pilot into Agents of Shield?
All those one-shots are a real mystery, aren't they? What are they for? You know
Who
what
are
I mean?
they? I think they're there for the fans,
Why do
Mason.
people agree to be in them? Like, why?
Why is Sam Rockwell doing it?
Yep.
I don't know.
Why was Robert Downey Jr. in one of them?
Was he?
Yeah, he was in the what's it called? People are yelling it right now. It was called The Negotiator or something like that. Do you remember at the end of Incredible Hulk?
I thought that was just existing footage from the Incredible
No, that's
Hulk.
a whole one shot.
I know the one you're talking about, but I just thought they just took footage from the Incredible Hulk, and then that bled into Sitwell talking about it with Coulson in a cafe or whatever.
Yes, but I think there's more Robert Downey Jr. scenes, I think.
That may have just been leftover stuff from the Incredible Hulk anyway.
Probably was.
If any of this is true, I don't. It's been when did that come out? Like 2009.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't remember. Also, that was before he was peak Robert Downey Jr.
That's true, before he could...
He's still flying high. You
Yeah.
better believe
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, before he Jude Laws it.
Remember the one where Coulson beats up that guy in a convenience
Yeah,
store?
he hits him with a bag of flour or whatever.
Flying kicks him was
yeah, I
great.
remember that.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah.
Bring back the one-shots, that's what I say.
They've been talking about it, but I don't know.
We've been talking about it. Nobody
No,
else has been
they've
talking about it.
They know that people like them. I think it's one of those situations, like you said, though, who are they for? They don't
Yeah.
make money. They don't
That's
release them
true.
cinematically. People aren't going to buy a Blu-ray because they're on them, because you can just watch them on YouTube. You're right. Who are they? They're for fans.
Yeah.
And
How about this? Collect a Grandmaster road trip.
yes.
10 minutes. Squeeze out all the jokes you can.
Yep.
That's it.
Just film it on green screen.
Yeah.
You could go anywhere in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Mason. Mm-hmm. Do you know what you love?
What do I love?
The
We'll see about this.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
I want to be clear, I didn't love that. That's the worst trailer I've ever seen.
It's not supposed to
What
be a
is this?
trailer.
How is it news? How is it anything?
Mason,
It's literally nothing.
we've got thousands of tweets, people demanding that you give your
Not
reaction.
true. Well, I'm
gonna
giving it now. I hate it.
We're going to do a live reaction. You're going to play it again.
Okay. Theater of the mind. I'm playing it again. Oh, look, it's Chris Pratt. Oh, look, it's a little dinosaur. He's petting it or whatever. Okay, it's the end. Finished.
I think you spoke for longer than it went for.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people have said that's Blue, from Jurassic World. His mate,
Okay.
Raptor. I don't know what that movie's going to be about. Do you know what it's going to be about?
Probably a fallen kingdom of some sort.
Sure.
I think isn't it just going to be Jurassic Park 2 again?
I hope not.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's the guy who did When a Monster Calls, and apparently When a Monster Calls is really good. I've got it ready to go. I want to watch it, but I haven't yet. So that's a ringing endorsement.
You've been busy. It's been a week since Justice League. How you feeling about Justice League?
I've forgotten a lot of it. I've been doing a deleted scenes video, which is linked below. There's a lot of I go through the making of. I went and all the way up to how this kind of happened and all the weird shit that kind of happened along the way. So a lot of the time, I end up taking somebody else's clips that were missing from the trailer because I couldn't remember what was in it and what wasn't.
Yeah, right.
But it's just nothing. I
There
don't
you go.
hate it. It's just.
Did you have fun with it though?
Yeah, absolutely I had fun with
That's
it,
where I
Mason.
hope- yeah,
I
that's-
would not ever go back on that.
I just wanted to make sure you're still maintaining that you had fun with it. That's all I wanted to know ultimately.
How do you feel a week on?
I still hate it. But again, I haven't really. It's gone.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it. I thought about it, going to see it again, but I'm like, I'm not going to see it again.
Yeah, right.
But I got more stuff about that to talk about.
Is it?
There's many things.
Okay, is that in the news, or we just talk about it later?
No, there's so many. There is in the news. There's so many tiers, Mason.
Okay.
Actually, we can do that right now.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so this starts
Oh,
at the news that Paramount turned down Warner Brothers' offer, allegedly, to CGI on a mustache for Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah, sure, right.
So this is in the video that I made about the weird making of whatever and everything that we know. But
Quick recap if anybody doesn't remember.
Basically, Henry Cavill had a mustache and he had to do reshoots, but because he was filming Mission Impossible, he wasn't allowed to shave it off, so they CGI'd it off for the movie and it looks atrocious.
Yeah.
In some scenes, some other scenes it looks better. Some scenes it's not reshoots and he just looks like a regular man. All in all, it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah. And when you think about it, you know what, it's ridiculous, but at the same time, now that I've had time to process the incredible information that is the best CGI lawyer feud in cinematic history.
Possibly.
They're supposed to be finished. Warner Brothers was supposed to be finished with the movie.
Yes.
And he's signed on to do this movie with Paramount. Paramount don't owe him anything. You know?
No. Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But the problem was because they needed to do a lot more Superman stuff because the story behind it looks like they changed Superman's story arc, and again, it's in that video that I did. Like he was going to
So they took out his story arc.
They took out his story
because he has no story
No,
arc.
he was going to be because you know how he kind of comes back and then he's just fine.
Oh yeah, spoilers for Justice League.
Spoilers for Justice League. Sorry, yeah. And then he's like, you think he's going to go bad, and then he's just like, oh no, I'm alright.
I'm right, actually, yeah.
Like he was going to be evil for a period of time, and then
Okay.
anyway, again, it's detailed in the video. I won't recap it. But basically, they, as an act of good faith,
I remember when Superman was a symbol of hope for all of the world. Well, now he's just smashing stuff. It's weird. I don't get it. He's real evil and weird, and he's blowing up the city. I don't know. He used to be our symbol of hope. I don't understand. That's Commissioner Gordon.
that's yeah.
No,
yeah.
sorry, it's Batman. It's Batman. It's Batman's voice. That's my Batman voice.
He's complaining to Commissioner Gordon on the rooftop.
Yeah.
How about that?
I don't get it either, Batman. I don't know, man.
So, as an act of good faith, they took existing footage of Henry Cavill from Justice League and they CGI'd a mustache onto him.
Okay.
And they showed Paramount and they said, look, we'll pay for this.
Yeah.
And Paramount went, fuck off. Absolutely not. He's not shaving it. And obviously, it's easier to CGI on a mustache than remove one, as is evident from this film.
Uh-huh.
So basically, also, there's been all these rumors circulating that there's this Zack Snyder cut of the film.
Right.
But because they reshot for 2 months,
Yes.
that Zack Snyder version never really existed kind of in the first place, though, because a VFX artist went on Reddit and he said, Zack would have probably done things differently to how the movie turns out.
Oh, Zach is on a first name
First
basis.
name
with
basis,
This guy, right?
but there isn't a secret version of his that somewhere it doesn't exist. There's no cutout. People who spread the rumor are the worst, perpetuating rumors of processes that they don't understand. So basically, there was a cut of this movie that Zack Snyder was working on,
Right.
But it would have changed so much by the time it came out anyway.
Yeah.
Like it was raw and it wasn't.
So none of the
anything.
effects are done. And
No, I'd imagine
Yeah.
not. Yeah, just the stuff they got for the trailers.
that being said, who is this guy?
he's a VFX artist.
But I mean, is he though?
No, he is. There was a Reddit AMA or whatever. Yeah.
Ah, okay,
I mean,
right.
I don't know him, Mason. If you know
Okay.
him, you tell me his name.
Okay.
Do you know him?
No.
Shut up.
All right then. But I mean, where's the proof that he is this guy?
Because it was an official
Oh,
VFX
right
thing
then,
or
okay.
whatever. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because so like he left this film like 6 months before it came out. So obviously it's not going to be his by the time
Yeah, right.
it kind of rolls around. And also with the Joss Whedon having coming on board, there's a rumor that when Joss Whedon's name comes up in the credits, it says screenplay by or also directed by Joss Whedon or whatever. It's not directed by because he's not credited for it.
Right.
Presumably because he didn't want to put his name on it. And then as his name comes up, there's an homeless man with a sign
Says
that
I
says
tried.
I
Yeah,
tried.
that is. Yeah, I've seen that shot. Somebody put that up.
Yeah, and the rumor is that it's intentional because it may or may not be. Joss Whedon's kind of been kind of quiet on the whole thing. Maybe also because he's been quiet lately in general.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine also he doesn't really want to associate with this film too much.
Also, he is in the opening titles. He is the white supremacist kicking over the fruit stand. The fruit stand is Zack Snyder's original majestic vision of this
Wow.
movie, and bloody Joss Whedon's just kicking it over,
Jeez,
having harsh words.
I didn't realize all the subtext.
There's a lot. It's all that opening sequence is all subtext.
We have to go back.
No, we will not.
But there's also talk that he was restricted by what he wanted to do because he was brought in to lighten the tone. There's a bit of the one.
I want Superman to murder everybody. Oh, you mean Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
So that opening scene with Batman on the rooftop,
Yep.
and he's with the criminal, that apparently was a lot funnier. And Warner Brothers kind of chopped that down to, and that's come from the guy who's in that scene with Batman.
Right. Okay.
And Joss Whedon apparently sent him like a gift basket, which was like, hey, we gave it a shot, but it didn't kind of work out.
Yep.
So
here's some wine and here's some cheeses and here's a coupon to cheat on your wife. Just give it to her. She'll be okay with it. It's an official Hollywood cheat on your wife card. It's a voucher.
That's it. So that's kind of why the movie, it's weird because there's no real highs or lows. It's just kind of, you know what I mean? For me and you at least, I guess. Mm-hmm. I had fun with it. Look,
yeah, no, we know. You're well aware you had fun with it.
But as a result of all of this and kind of the way it turned out, Warner Brothers stand to lose anywhere between $50 to $100 million. I mean, internationally, it's doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
But when it costs $300 million to make with the reshoots and then you add probably $150 million on top of that for marketing.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
But Mason,
yes.
there's good news for Warner Brothers in the terms of the because of the Help Our Heroes campaign. Have you heard of this?
I have. It's a whole bunch of big old DC fans who've decided to each see the movie 6 times. Is that right? Six for six.
6 for the 6. Yeah. So. This is out there at the moment. It says, we're asking every DC fan to commit to see this film 6 times or more whilst it's in theaters for the future of these characters. The expectation isn't hundreds of millions of dollars in box office returns, but we hope to get Warner Brothers' attention to let them know we love these characters, etc., etc. This is a terrible idea. Yep. First of all, it's not going to work.
Sure.
That's straight up. But I don't know. I just feel like if you are a really big fan of these characters, I think the fact that this didn't do well is a good thing in the potentially in the future for this universe, because they'll take notice.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think also movie producers are famously good at picking up the wrong the wrong signal from whatever
Seems that way,
happens, you know?
Yeah.
If somehow this campaign works and it makes, $1 billion again, then they'll just go, oh, that must mean that everybody likes exactly what we're doing with this, so let's do it exactly the same again.
It seems to be, this franchise for me, they went, look, we're going to go dark and gritty like the Nolan films. And that's really evident in Man of Steel in particular, because it tries to be the Dark Knight, but with Superman. But Superman isn't the Dark Knight for various reasons that we won't get into. And then they went, oh, that's not what people want. People want them to be light and funny and colourful like Marvel films. So they kind of mashed Justice League into that. But people don't like the Marvel films because they're bright and colourful and quippy. They like the characters and the storylines and the universe all kind of is coherent and makes sense. And they've been following these characters for nearly a decade. Like you said, they've taken the wrong idea that, oh, you know what? They just want colour and jokes. We can do that.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, that's part of the reason why people like the Marvel movies, but it's...
I mean, I like colour and jokes and movement.
Sure, yeah.
I like jangling keys.
I get you. Yeah.
Ooh.
But again, like you said, I think they just took the wrong kind of lesson from it, and they just kind of mashed Justice League into a Marvel film, and it didn't, what they thought was a Marvel film, and it didn't quite take off. Anyway, Mason, 6 for 6 for the 6.
Yeah, anyway, you know what? Aquaman will probably be good.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yep.
You know what? I liked it's not, his Jason Momoa's portrayal of Aquaman in that movie. It's not the traditional portrayal.
No.
It's somewhere in the middle. It's like
in the middle of what?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not.
Some people hate it. I quite like.
I like him. I like him.
Yeah, I like him, and I love his enthusiasm. That's
and I think also like he spent prior to this, his biggest role was being this angry, brooding Dothraki guy, and in this they're like, just be a giant guy who's having fun, and he's clearly enjoying that. So I'll watch another one of these.
You watch a giant guy have fun.
I'll watch a giant guy have fun.
There was also rumours this week that Joss Whedon is off the Batwoman film, or the Batgirl film, whichever it's called. I can't remember. I think it's Batgirl.
It's Batgirl, yeah.
Yeah. But apparently that's not the case, and he's still plugging away at it. Now, there's a very good chance that he'll still make that movie. But Warner Brothers...
Hear me out. Batgirl gets married. I think it's cheated on, but it's fine.
But Warner Brothers might want to consider...
She's totally on board with it. Because she knows that her husband has a really tough job.
And there's certain situations...
He's very desirable to women. She gets it.
Yeah. But...
Anyway...
I just think... Do you think Warner Brothers have considered that maybe they should take this guy off the film?
No.
You reckon they're just going to go through
They
with it?
do not care because the 2 Avengers movies made $2 billion or whatever.
Yeah,
so they
right.
could not care less.
But they must realise that the fandom on him has soured significantly. Like the whole Joss Whedon fan sites and Buffy sites have closed down because of this.
I don't think they care. And I think, because there was Whedon-esque, right? That was the big all things Whedon fan site kind of thing.
yeah.
But I don't. How much of the superhero movie stuff did they cover? I don't even know.
I don't know. I
think they're like, who cares?
I just think if they were smart, they'd get someone like a Patty Jenkins or even just Patty Jenkins to do it. But yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine trotting this guy out to press junkets and he's talking about female empowerment and that's not going to blow up in their faces somehow.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he
absolutely.
couldn't make a good movie. He probably could. But I just think they must be aware of that this is a PR shitstorm waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Justice League. What a fun time. We both enjoyed it. 10 out of 10.
Incorrect and wrong. How dare you?
Mason,
That's the one of the part where you mute my mic.
do you want to know what James Cameron said the hardest thing about Avatar 2 is?
Oh, I'm loving just James Cameron talking about stuff these days. I'm just loving it.
Yeah, right. He said the hardest thing about Avatar 2 is that the underwater motion capture. See, normally
This should be old. This should be old rope for you right now, James Cameron. You've done so much underwater
What have you been doing
filming.
in your submarines? It's just been, I don't know what he's been doing. But look, apparently because there's distortion, obviously, between the dots and the cameras with the water wibbling about and whatnot. But luckily, Mason, they've found a way around that.
Don't do it underwater.
Well, no, they did do it underwater.
Oh wait, so are you saying that are they mocapping people who are swimming underwater?
Correct.
Oh, is this his new frontier? Because this has not been done before, right?
People say there's more space to explore in the ocean than there is in literal space.
Who said that?
Nobody said
I was going to say.
And it's not true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to me,
Yes.
and I'm not an expert on mocap, and I guess this would be for the most authentic underwater mocap experience, but you would just do it on wires
Yeah, or just
or CGI.
Just do it on. Surely it would be easier to just get some really good-looking CGI water.
Yeah.
Surely at this point,
I mean, there will be some good-looking CGI water, Mason.
the best ever, best of all time. But surely you you film them on wires, and then you build the CGI wireframe blue alien cat man, but then you just put water around it. And then you have the water move as the...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So this is just him testing out camera techniques then, I guess. Ugh.
Buckle in, Mason.
I
There's
don't
3
want
years
to.
of it. You will want to.
I don't want to.
Oh, there's an update also. This is a minor Justice League spoiler as well,
Ooh,
if you
okay.
haven't seen it. You know the bit, we talked about it last week.
I should also stress that in the next few weeks, few months, all of Justice League is going to be inadvertently spoiled on this podcast because we're just going to be like, hey, remember the scene when and it's out there.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good idea to mention.
But to be honest, there's no surprises in Justice League. So
no, the only surprise is that you'll just have a bit of fun with it.
that's very true.
But there's a bit where Aquaman goes to Atlantis.
Yes.
And he meets up with Mira or Myra, whatever her name. It's
Yep.
Mira? I don't know. And he goes to talk to her and she makes a little air bubble.
Yes.
And they stand in there and they have a bit of a chit chat.
Yes.
And
Which made me wonder
Yes.
how to regular Atlanteans. Apparently, I've been saying Atlanteans, but it's Atlanteans apparently.
you can say whatever you want,
guess
man.
that's true,
This
I
is-
can.
This is the internet.
They can't hear me.
They can't.
But I was going to say, how do regular Atlanteans speak underwater if they don't have magical bubble powers?
Yeah.
How have they been doing it for thousands of years?
Well, James Wan has taken to Twitter.
Yep.
And people said like it's a shot at Justice League, which it could be. But he just said we're not doing underwater bubbles.
Right.
So he's figured out another way to do it. Presumably just people talking, and it's a little bit muffled.
Yeah, I hope it's. I was going to say, I hope it's classic, stereotypical sound effects bank of somebody being slowly drowned in on a really rainy day, or like, and then just and then subtitles. That'd be incredible, I think.
Incredible, Mason. You've nailed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm interested to see how
Or
they do that, I guess.
They do it how astronauts, if their radios break, they can communicate by putting their helmets together and just talking, and the vibration goes through. Is
that true?
I think so. And that happened in The Martian or Gravity or something. Anyway, I'm hoping all the characters in Aquaman, they talk by cracking their heads together.
I'm hoping they have to go to the surface every time to talk.
Yeah, right.
They just point frantically up. And then
So it's him and Black Manta battling it out, and Black Manta's like, up here, and then they politely like it's part of the rules of engagement. You
go
have
to the ocean.
You have to politely swim up, and then they swim up, and Black Manta's like, "You're finished, Aquaman," and then they just go back down again. That's everything? Okay, cool. Let's go back down.
I think it's Ocean Master, though.
Is it?
I mean,
Okay.
I hate to... It's a great skit, Mason.
That's fine.
Just for authentic...
I mean, it doesn't work. Obviously, it doesn't work with Ocean Master, so I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That sketch only works with Black Manta.
Mason, before we get into whatever we're talking about this week, we're all over the shop, aren't we, this week?
This is a week about us being all over the shop. We're going to see how we go. This might be over in 20 minutes.
Mason, these are things I must mention about Harry's shavers.
Oh, yes.
You got to mention, do you love Harry's shavers? What do you love most about them?
I love the fact that I can shave with them and it's a good shave.
I like also that you can shave your face and it's good. Like
You can
it's
shave
just-
any area you want.
Yeah, I mean, I exclusively shave my face, but I'm sure.
What are you square?
Yeah.
What are you, a real
I
square?
wouldn't even say. You know what? I'm thinking about actually getting rid of my beard soon.
Wow.
Maybe not permanently.
Wow.
But just to kind of. I haven't been clean shaven in like 4 years.
Maybe
But I do the.
maybe
I
on
do the neck and
YouTube. Maybe on a live Facebook
I
event.
could. Harry sponsored. How much money do you reckon they'd give me for that? No money.
No money, precisely.
Oh,
yeah.
It sounds pretty good to me.
That's right.
But Harry's are so
But
confident.
if you did it live on Facebook, you could have the indignity of people going, "Oh, baby face! Oh, look at your weird face.
Where's
Where'd
your
your
jaw?
chin?
Yeah.
Where'd your jaw go? You've made a terrible mistake. This will be my only visual image of you for the next year."
Harry's though are
They're
so
all from me, by the way.
they're so confident you're gonna love their blades. They're actually giving away their trial set for free when you go to harrys.com/weeklyplanet and you just pay for the $3 for shipping.
Nice.
And in that you get a weighted ergonomic razor handle. Great handle, by the way.
Good handle.
It's good weight to it. Not too heavy. You don't want a razor handle. You don't want to feel like it's a brick.
Yeah.
It's not like a brick, is it?
No.
It's a little much lighter than a
You
brick.
could hurl it
Yeah.
if you wanted.
Like a brick.
Like a brick. That's right.
5 precision engineered blades with a lubricating strip and trimmer blade, which is great for kind of getting a line going, Mason.
If you want to provide the illusion that you have a jaw, for example.
Correct. That's
Yep.
right. For example, rich lathering shave gel and a travel blade cover, which is handier than you'd think.
It's when you get one, you're like, oh, why didn't I always have one of these?
And now you've always got one.
Now I've always got one. Yeah,
That's
that's
right,
right.
yeah.
You'll never take it away from me.
But did you know, Mason, they've helped 3 million guys who have switched to Harry's razors, or maybe you live with a woman, say your wife hypothetically steals your razor to shave her leg, like hypothetically.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they've helped out 3 million people and somebody's wife who does that. Did you know that?
Is it your wife?
Couldn't say, Mason. Couldn't say.
All right. Because if you want to, now's the time to wear any personal grievances during the ad.
There is
So if
that
you
spot.
want-
Actually, there is a section here. They want us to talk about personal grievances.
Oh, terrific.
Jeff and Andy, though, Mason, they're 2 ordinary guys. They started the company because they were sick of paying for overpriced razors. They bought a German factory with 100 years of blade making experience.
Again, is it one guy with 100 years of experience making blades, or is it 100 guys who've just started? Who knows?
We don't know.
Yeah.
Harry's, the idea is that their blades are much cheaper than the ones you get in the supermarket. They're also much better.
That's
in
true.
my personal opinion. Also, that's just true. So yeah, if you want that free trial set, it's harrys.com/weeklyplanet right now. That's harrys.com/
Weekly Planet.
There he is.
Okay, good.
He's chipping in.
He muted my mic. I was saying it so many times, then he muted it.
All right, so we've got a few things we kind of want to talk about this week.
Yeah.
A little bit on the Punisher, a little bit on Runaways, a little bit on a superhero fatigue. So it's a bit all over the
Say
place.
it properly.
I will not.
Okay.
Fatigue.
Because here's the thing. We're like, what should we do this week?
Yeah.
Let's watch 13 episodes of The Punisher. And we're both like, oh,
Yeah.
do we have to?
Do we have to? And then the Runaways came out, and we were like, ugh. But
And then obviously we have to get through The Gifted.
nah, I'm not watching that. It's just not happening.
And then there was a crossover on the Flarrowverse.
Oh god, yeah. So, do you want to start with the Punisher? These aren't going to be super extensive. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of spoilers, but nothing too.
So I feel we've kind of hit a wall temporarily. I don't know. I don't think it's going to last forever.
No, I don't.
And
Think,
I'm curious as to everybody else, like our listeners, if
Yeah.
you're also experiencing superhero fatigue.
I wouldn't even say it's a fatigue. I think it's just an overabundance.
It is, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
I can't get to where. Like, I feel like I'd watch almost exclusively superhero stuff.
Yeah, right.
And there's so much that I just don't watch.
Sometimes weather changing stuff.
Sometimes weather changing stuff, sure. But do you want to just start with the Punisher?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm only like 3 or 4 in. I like it.
Me too.
I've heard it gets much, much better as well. They cut to boardrooms too often in these Netflix series.
right.
I don't know why the fuck they keep doing it. And there's always a conspiracy and this and that. But I like the Frank Castle they've got.
Yeah.
I think he's good. He does action really well.
Yeah.
He's got a good opening. You see him kind of wrapping some stuff
That's
up
true,
from,
yeah.
from previous seasons.
It's kind of a fun little montage of him sniping people
That's
to death.
right, yeah. He doesn't like being called a hipster Mason, even though he doesn't look like a hipster.
Not at all.
Like,
not even
at all.
slightly, yeah. Not even... It's just because he's got a beard. Surely
Yeah.
in rural areas there are people with beards.
Oh no, Mason, absolutely not.
Okay, then
Yeah,
carry on.
you're thinking of other.
I think that's a joke that somebody thought of
Yeah,
and they dotted it all throughout the series.
Yeah.
And then they're like, listen, I'm not taking this out.
this is the hill I die on.
They're like, should we write another joke for this scene?
Absolutely,
Just
not.
put the hipster thing in.
Even if he had the short sides,
Yep.
then you could say he's got a bit of the hipster thing going.
Exactly,
But he doesn't.
no.
He's just a guy who had a shaved head and then he grew out his hair for
Yeah.
8 months.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You could be like, hey, that 70s show. That'd be more accurate.
That'd be great. And it's such a good reference.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I still feel my problem with the Punisher is, again, I haven't gone all the way through it, is, like I said, it feels a lot kind of like what we've gotten. But also I'm liking it more than I liked Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Right,
And and the Defenders, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have you thus far spotted a single reference to anything else that's happened in the Marvel Universe? Karen Page.
Karen Page, yeah. It's pretty light.
Isn't it though? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe but I feel like they're really edging away from mentioning the Avengers and whatnot, and that's even more so in the Runaways.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, no, I think it's these universes are getting further and further apart. Yeah.
I don't necessarily care for that.
Well, I'd like to see the Punisher show up in the movies, Mason.
Yeah.
Now, people mentioned to you that he's too small. You've heard people say that he's too small to be the Punisher. He's not enormous, is he? He's probably like 5'10".
But when he's got a sledgehammer on him,
He's big enough, isn't he?
that's true. Yeah.
That was a good sequence, actually.
I think so as well, yeah.
Yeah. How many are you in?
4 as well. I think.
Okay,
yeah.
right. Do you finding it light on action?
Yes.
Are you finding it heavy on boardrooms?
Yes.
I think also because I'm watching it out of one eye, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Like, what's the conspiracy?
because
Is
you
that,
poked yourself in the eye.
I poked myself in the eye, that somebody is set him up. The reason his family's murdered is not for the reason that he necessarily thinks. That there's a
right.
big old conspiracy, and maybe the thing that he was doing wasn't the best thing that he was doing for the military, or maybe it was Mason. Oh. Also maybe Jigsaw, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. Am I right? Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I think so. That's
Okay,
pretty much it.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm up to speed.
What's
then.
that other guy from? The handsome guy. What's he from? I've seen him in things.
He's in Narnia.
That
one of the
can't be
Narnia
it,
film.
no.
He's in Stardust.
That's probably it.
He's the dad in Stardust. Actually, he's Daredevil is in Stardust, and
Yes,
the young
that's
version
true.
of his dad is played by this guy,
Ooh.
whose name I can't remember.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's in a bunch of other stuff. What else is
Yeah.
he in? I'm sure I've seen him as like a slick businessman.
Yeah, it's that.
When
Yeah.
have I seen him? Maybe I'll
If you
just
could look
quickly
that up.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, look, it has been spoiled for me, and I was hoping against hope.
And
There's no minigun in this season. That's what they tell me. But you know what? I'm still and I was.
you said you were out.
I did say I was out.
Your
didn't I?
exact words were.
But I like John Bernthal.
Westworld.
That's
He's in
what it
Westworld.
is.
Of
He's
course
the
he is,
prick
yeah.
in Westworld.
I
He's
knew it,
he's
yeah.
the real prick who's like, yeah, let's go and
He's also
be
in
the
the mo-
worst people in the world.
He was in Seventh Son with Jeff Bridges.
That's definitely not what I've seen him in.
But yeah, so are you upset? Does that upset you?
Yes.
Why?
Again, it's bloody Chekhov's minigun. You put it in Act 1. It's got to be fighting.
But they, to their credit,
Yes.
they did not put it in this season.
like in the promo material.
Yeah, in the promo material, or they didn't hint it at the start.
When are we getting it?
I don't think we're getting it.
Wow.
I think you're barking up the wrong
Wow.
something, a metaphor for a minigun. I can't think of the metaphor. You're barking up the wrong minigun, Mason.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe next season, maybe never. Do you reckon he's going to show up and save the defenders with a minigun?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Or kill the defenders with a minigun.
Whatever.
Either would be fine.
You'll take anything at this point, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But no, but you're still on board. though.
Yes, yeah.
So you're not ruling out coming back to the next season of Luke Cage, finishing this season off even. Like, are you chomping at the bit, Mason, as you were just doing, to go home now and polish off another 8 hours of The Punisher?
No, but I am chomping at the bit to go home and watch maybe one more tonight. And
Whoa.
then maybe another one tomorrow night, and then another one.
Would you like them to go to weekly episodes?
Yes, I would.
Do you think that's...
I was just thinking that, and it's not... I don't understand why Netflix has decided, specifically for Marvel stuff, that they have to put everything out, and you have one weekend to watch the whole thing, and if not, everything is spoiled for you.
People spoil the minigun for you on Twitter.
People spoil the minigun. But I mean, they do it for others.
That's not the only thing
The
they
Good
do
Place
it for.
comes out week to week. That's a
Yeah.
great show.
You know what I like a lot?
Yes.
That's Star Trek, even though it's on Australian Netflix. I don't think it's the same
No,
in the
it's on
US.
something else, yeah.
It's on CBS or whatever. But I love that comes out weekly.
Me
Every
too.
Monday I'm like, you know what I'm going to do this week?
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch The Walking Dead again. I'm
Yeah.
going to watch Star Trek.
Here's a question for you. Do you think if what has already been filmed of these Marvel Netflix series was released week to week,
Yeah.
would you find each one satisfying?
Probably not. Because they bleed so
Yeah,
easily
right.
into the next.
So I think it would require something of
an adjustment.
an
to
adjustment
This,
episode to episode.
Yeah,
because
right.
they do a lot of the time feel like this is a 13-hour movie.
yeah.
And
Sometimes not in a good way.
exactly, and there are but also at the same time if these were brought out week to week, I think the individual episodes might become a little bit formulaic. They might become
Right,
like
yeah.
he goes to another part of town and he goes to another diner and there's a waitress in a little bit of trouble and then he investigates it and then he wanders around and they're like, "Hey man, you want some trouble? What are you doing?" And
He
he's
doesn't
like,
want any trouble,
Don't
just
want
to be
any
clear."
trouble. I don't want to. And then they push him too far and he kills literally everybody.
And then smash cut to a boardroom.
Yeah, right. But I think you're right. I think
Well, the thing is though, this is all going away soon.
how do you?
We're
mean?
getting a few more seasons of this on Netflix of various shows, and then this is all going to Disney.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
right. Because
they-
they're building their own Netflix, I guess.
They are. They're Disney streaming service. I was actually speaking to Hollywood Pete about this
Oh
recently.
yeah, friend Hollywood
And
Pete.
he was like, I don't know if I'm going to get it. It seems like they don't have enough properties to make it off the ground.
Yeah, right.
And I said, listen up, Pete. Listen up.
Whoa.
And I grabbed him by the scruff of the
Wow.
neck. That was a phone call.
I was going to say you're dictating terms to Pete. Wouldn't recommend it.
No. But I just think that's gonna
Push him too far. That's what happens.
That's right. But I think I would get that Disney streaming service if it was just a Star Wars show weekly.
Wow.
Initially, at least.
Yeah.
To see it.
How much would you pay for it though? $5 a month? $10
Yeah,
a
whatever
month?
it is, whatever Netflix
$20
is.
a month? $30 a month.
See, I could tell. Okay,
$1,000
I haven't
per
answered any- I haven't
episode of
answered any-
Star Wars.
the thing is,
And half of them are bad, but you don't know which half.
that's pretty good odds for a TV show if half are bad. I'll take half
I
are
guess
bad.
that's probably true.
But because I can also write these off on tax, so
Oh,
I
I
think
see,
a
right.
reasonable fee at this point in time is $10 a month.
Okay.
I think that's quite reasonable.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I've said before that I'd pay $10 for if I could download an episode of Game of Thrones. I'd probably pay $10 an episode.
You're right. Okay.
Maybe 5 would be more realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, would you pay?
I think you would pay. I think you would pay $10 an episode for Game of Thrones, and at the end of the month, you'd get your credit card bill, and you'd be like, "Well, that's
that's
I paid a lot for that, didn't
$30
I?"
or whatever it is. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're probably right. But no, what would you pay for a Star Wars show? No money? Some money?
I would pay $2 an episode.
That's quite reasonable.
Wait, $3 an episode.
Okay, how about this? I'm
Yes.
gonna throw this out there. 4K HD, $600 an episode, or $3 standard definition.
$3 standard definition.
Really?
Yes.
You don't like quality? You don't like quality, crisp, clear images?
No, not really.
You've
to be
lost
honest.
it, Mason.
Yeah.
Thought you were about premium content, whatever
No.
I said. Shut up.
None of those things.
Okay.
Okay, so if everything, here's the thing though, if all this stuff does go to Disney, what are they going to do with it? Is
Are
this
they
a
gonna
situation where
continue it?
are they
Yeah.
going to scrap everything?
They probably could.
Yeah.
I think they need to reformat.
I think maybe what they will do is they'll transfer everything over
Yeah.
to Disney, their Disney app,
Yeah.
and then they'll see what rates.
Right.
Like they'll go, okay, well, people seem to be enjoying Daredevil seasons 1, 2, and 3.
I would say Disney have that information already
yeah, right.
through Netflix.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess they can also take over all the creatives. Like, because Netflix, Disney make it,
Yeah.
but Netflix are the ones
Distribute it. Yeah, that's true.
Hollywood Pete was also telling me how it works.
Yes.
Our powerful friend.
I'm ready to listen.
And he was basically saying, and I'm going to botch this, but
Okay.
how because because he's doing some stuff with Netflix. But basically that they greenlight a show for you.
Yes.
You pay for it.
Yes.
Sorry. No, I'll fuck this up.
Oh, no.
Okay, it's something along the lines
We'll
of
fix it in post. Don't worry.
their output for a show is minimal.
Whose output? Disney's.
Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
So they'll give you some of the money for it, I think, or none of the money. I can't remember exactly. You'll then make it.
Me?
Yep, and then when it's done, they'll give you the rest of the money.
Oh.
Or something to that. I can't.
Sounds like a ransom more than anything.
Well, it's an insurance policy because
Yeah,
then
right.
if you don't make it, Netflix aren't out of pocket. They haven't given you $6 million that you've not made a show with.
But how am I going to make my Bionic Man without my $6 million?
There was already a Bionic Man, and then there was a Bionic Woman.
That's true.
She had an arm and a leg and an eye or whatever. I don't remember.
She had an arm. She had 2 legs, an arm, and an ear. She had a bionic ear.
You want arms.
Yeah, no,
You
she
want
just had the one.
punchy arms.
Yeah, the $6 million man and the Bionic Woman both had 2 bionic legs and 1 bionic arm, and the only difference was what he had an eye and she had an ear.
Yeah.
Because she was a sensitive listener.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like a woman.
and he was a
I
pervert.
get it. Okay. Like a man.
Yeah, like a man.
I
Exactly.
get it.
Yeah. See how it makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, that's not the exact model of Netflix.
Okay.
But basically,
I'd be curious to know if
they don't put out a lot.
I'd be
Like
curious
your
to know
mum.
if they've
Got
had
her.
to institute that policy because they've given somebody $10 million to make a series and they've just
possible.
run away with it.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I think they'd probably were on top
And
of
if
this.
so, I would love to make a documentary about it. Netflix, if you are listening, give me $10 million
Yeah.
and I will make a documentary about those guys who ran off with your $10 million. I'll interview everybody and you will definitely get a series out of it.
And then I'll make a series about Mason running off with $10 million.
Boy, will he ever.
Yeah. But I just think that's interesting. So, yeah, their risk is low.
Yeah, right.
But that's all going to... So I don't know how Disney are going to change it. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Marvel TV just needed to be in front of somebody, and that's why they went to Netflix.
Yeah, right.
So anyway.
Because I also feel like Disney are very good at scrapping stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're like, okay, we have this now and it's going to be a clean slate.
Yeah. There's a lot of those old racist Disney movies they're not releasing.
Right.
It's like they don't
Oh,
exist.
what if they put Iron Fist in the Disney vault and we can't get to it anymore?
Oh, no.
Right?
Do I even... I might have it. I don't know. I might. I don't know.
What, Iron Fist?
Yeah, I might
On
have...
DVD?
I might have downloaded it to get some clips
Oh.
for Easter egg video. People have asked, am I going to do a Punisher Easter egg video? No. I'm not.
Well, there's not a lot to Easter... From what we can tell, there's not a lot to Easter egg in
There's
it,
a lot of
ultimately.
like comic references,
Yeah.
but not in terms of links to the MCU. It would seem
Yeah,
happenstance.
correct.
I don't know what that doesn't apply.
Unless they're backloading, like the last... The last 8 episodes are just like it's just a cavalcade of
Yeah.
stars.
It's
just Robert Downey Jr. running behind in the background.
I want to see the Punisher just watching the Avengers on television.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the Runaways? I know people wanted a longer Punisher talk, but we don't know enough.
You know what?
about
I'm gonna eke it out over the next several weeks as I watch it.
Gonna eke it
Watch
out.
it with me.
I will.
Why don't you?
Oh, me?
No.
Is that you seeing little Easter eggs and going? Eek? Is that
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Good.
yeah.
You haven't seen the Runaways?
No.
There's 3 out.
But I enjoyed the original comic book run
Yeah,
of the
right.
Runaways.
It's great.
Good.
I really like it.
Okay.
I haven't liked a Marvel TV show like this in a while.
Put this in continuity for me. Where does it fit? Anywhere?
Nowhere.
Really?
There
Okay.
is so few references to... I haven't seen any references to the wider MCU.
Is it set in the wider MCU?
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure there's information on that,
Yep.
but it's the same basic story. If you want to outline the story of the comic, I'll see if
So
it
it's
lines
a
up.
bunch of kids.
Yep.
And every year their families, their parents get together. They think they're in some sort of weird. They think they're all playing bridge or something, or just being
Yep.
some sort of weird sex party. Probably, I don't know.
Sure.
But it turns out one day they finally get bloody jack of trying to figure out what their parents are up to, and they sneak in and see that their parents are all supervillains and they're sacrificing a woman, and they decide to go on the run.
Right.
Until they figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of that. It's I would say there's a little bit more teen drama.
Okay.
There's more suspense in terms of the parents going to find out and whatever what they
Have
saw.
they gone on the Runaways yet?
I wouldn't dare say so, Mason.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you. But look, I think it's definitely worth checking out. And just watching this, it's shot really well, like especially when you compare it to and it looks great because it's real locations, real houses, and real whatever.
Real
And then-
Housewives.
Real Housewives. And then you look at I couldn't even remember the name, but Inhumans.
That had real Hawaii.
It's night and day. Like it looks so. I mean,
That had real downtown Hawaii.
I mean, to be fair,
sun-kissed Hawaii, the Aloha State. I assume it's called
probably. I mean, to be fair, we watched that on IMAX.
the Maui Jim State.
Sure, but no, I think it's definitely worth. I think you'd really like it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a whirl.
Yeah, you should definitely give it
Are
a
you
whirl.
stealing it off the internet? What are you doing?
Mason, I couldn't possibly say.
Okay.
Just leave me a memory stick and something may show up.
Okay, right.
Who knows? Yeah. But again, I couldn't possibly say.
Quick question: are we still recording?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I've been checking this week.
Nice.
It was a real disaster last week, wasn't it? Going through the edit though, I think we got most of it.
Great.
Or we didn't. Who cares?
All right. Here's a question for you. How them affects?
Not a lot of them,
Okay.
but good. Oh, actually, there's a dinosaur that
Yep.
goes from looking okay, and then you see it run, and it's like that's not so good.
Okay,
but for a CGI television dinosaur, it's okay.
right.
Yeah. I think they've got a little puppet which looks quite good.
Great.
I don't know why there's a dinosaur.
Is
in
it the baby dinosaur from the sitcom Dinosaurs?
Exactly.
Just cuts to that.
That's right. Yeah. Is there a dinosaur in the comic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's genetically engineered.
You'll like this though. One of the Runaways, and I wouldn't dare say who, Mason, is developing some kind of powers.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of going, "What's happened to me? What's happened to my body? And I'm changing," they're just like, "Oh, I have powers."
Nice.
And they just like trying to test them out. It's not
Cool.
like, "Oh, why me?"
Well, no, I'm
It's
so
none of that.
different. This is a metaphor for my adolescence. I don't understand.
None of that.
Great.
So
I love it.
you'll be bang up for
Nice.
that. But
How supervillainy are these supervillains?
yeah,
Because sometimes on TV or like an adaptation like this, they might dial it back.
yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, we get any
interesting.
costumes? What are we getting?
No costumes. They
Okay.
just look like the comics.
Okay, cool.
Characters.
All right,
Yeah,
that's pretty good. All right.
Are the supervillains famous Marvel supervillains?
No, they're not, no.
Okay, then are they even known before this?
They are no. Then they're all new for Runaways.
Okay, so it's not like the Reaper or whatever. Or,
No, but
yeah.
they're evidently they're known amongst the supervillain community.
Right, okay,
They've kind of
gotcha.
retconned them in and gone, oh, like I hate this Doctor Doom character. I hate dealing with Doctor Doom kind of thing.
How long's the run?
Can't remember.
I think I might check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, seems good.
It is.
I mean, it is good, isn't it?
Yeah, and apparently because there's a new version, I guess, to coincide with the comic books that is out now, and apparently that's very good too. So
I understand. Very good. Mason, we want to talk about superhero fatigue though, but Mason, I'm all bloody fatigued already from talking about it.
yeah,
No, we should talk about it.
let's do it.
Where are you on superhero movies? Should we shut down this podcast?
No.
Do you want to change it to cooking?
What do you got in the boil right now?
Eggs.
Boiled eggs.
Yes.
So what you're saying, hypothetically speaking, is if we stopped talking about superhero movies and started talking about cooking,
Yep.
your opening salvo on our cooking podcast would be boiled eggs.
4 minutes on a high heat.
Oh, yes.
That'll get you a great boiled egg, Mason,
Wow.
straight up.
You wouldn't go with 3 minutes.
I've done 3, Mason.
All right.
This ain't my first egg-related
All right.
rodeo.
I'm just saying that sounds like a very hard boiled egg is what I'm saying.
No, it's not. It's soft in the middle, but the white part's cooked. That's what you want, right?
No,
you
I want it all runny.
Then you don't boil an egg. Then you just eat an egg.
Just eat a raw egg. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
I'm telling you, it's good.
Okay.
I've been doing boiled eggs.
What if that was what the podcast became? Just one of us suggests a recipe and the other one's like, nah, just eat it all raw.
No, I think we should suggest how long you cook an egg for. So we start with 1 minute.
Yeah,
And then we
okay.
do that. That's episode 1.
Yep,
And then
nice.
we work our way up to 100.
Okay.
To 100 minutes.
It's like that. Have you seen those? Have you seen those YouTube videos where they just crush everything in a giant drill
Oh, yeah,
press?
yeah, yeah.
It'd be that. We just do a video series where we just boil an egg for 1 to 100 minutes. It'd be less interesting, I feel, but whatever.
Yeah. But basically, for me, and I think it's the TV stuff, because there's so
Yeah.
much of it, like I said, it's hard to keep up with. And even somebody like us, who this is, I guess, sort of our job to keep across everything. I don't watch Flash. I don't watch Arrow. I don't watch The Legends of Tomorrow. I haven't finished The Punisher. I dropped off Inhumans immediately.
Absolutely.
I didn't watch...
Should we go back to that?
No, I didn't watch...
Really?
They're not continuing that. I didn't watch Powers.
Isn't there like 7? There's 7 episodes, I think.
Maybe.
I should go back to that.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
Yeah, like I'll catch all the movies, obviously.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I've dropped off The Walking Dead because I'm sick of it because it's not very good. I mean, I think
Do you still read the comic book, or you never?
Oh
read the
yeah,
comic book?
comic's great.
Okay, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the okay? So what is the TV series doing wrong that the comic book isn't doing
Everyone is a total idiot.
in the TV show?
Yeah.
How have they done that though? I don't understand.
Because it's like they exist in a world where it's slow zombies.
Yes.
But every day it's like they've never seen them before.
Right.
Like they'll just like they'll get swamped, and then every episode there's a scene where they get swamped, and then they have to fight their way out, and it's just you stab him in the head, and then another guy shoots a crossbow, and then the one uses her sword, and but there's no tension because I know no one's ever going to die.
Right.
I mean, when somebody dies, it's never surprising, or it's a weird fake out.
Have more characters died in the comic books than in
Oh,
the
yeah.
TV series?
Oh, actually, there's a lot have. I say that, but there's a lot have died. Like if you look back to the first series,
Yep.
there's like 2 people left who were in that first, like for the main
Okay, right,
crew.
right.
Or maybe 3 or 4, I don't know. But
Yeah. I guess, mate, is it a function of...
I don't care. Is my point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is it a function of that when you... Like if you're Robert Kirkman, you're writing The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
you can just bump off whatever characters you want.
Yes, yeah.
But on the TV show, you can't be like, hey, do you want to be on this show for a season? And then just kill them randomly at some
Well, actually,
point.
because there's been characters, and this is a minor spoiler for the Walking Dead TV show. Like Andrea lives much longer in the comic.
Uh-huh.
Like Rick ends up in the TV shows having a relationship with Michonne, but in the comic it's Andrea.
Okay.
So there is some slight deviations there, but everybody's just they're so stupid. They're so monumentally stupid.
But they're not stupid in the comic books.
No, not at all.
How did this happen?
Bad writing.
Right.
Yeah, and I think also plot armor for a lot of them. And also when somebody does die, I
Yeah.
don't care because I don't like anybody
Okay,
on it.
right.
Like I if there was an episode where every character got torn apart by zombies and then the next week it was all new characters,
Yeah.
that would be the same as that. I wouldn't whatever.
So I think maybe we've hit on something here,
Mm.
and this is an issue that I've had with a lot of recent stuff.
Yeah.
Is why can't they just So look, some comic book stories you can't translate to TV or movies.
Yeah.
But some stuff you absolutely can.
Sure.
It boggles my mind that they can't just go, hey, the writing on this is really good.
Yeah.
The only reason people are on board with this particular comic is the writing. Like the age of the zombie is over. I feel
right,
strongly.
Yeah. Well, they cancelled iZombie apparently.
Yeah, so the only reason that people are still on board with this is because the writing is good.
But but The Walking Dead, the comic or the show?
The comic book.
Yeah, because the show is dipping. Like the numbers are still huge.
Yeah, right.
But it's like the lowest season ratings for like 4 years. Or
How are those
whatever.
Talking Dead ratings?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's not a show that I watch or have ever watched. But yeah, I think the excuse might be that there's, they're trying to, for some shows, because there's only limited source material and you're trying to stretch it out. But Walking Dead's maybe 200 issues in.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And they're nowhere near where they are in the comic.
Yeah.
They're just treading water, it seems. And every now and then they'll hit this is a spoiler for last season, they'll hit Glenn's death. Or the introduction of, I know, right? Or the introduction, and I liked Glenn initially, and the introduction of Negan and whatever. So they hit like the villains and the key points, but it's so few and far between. I did a video on it where every season opener is a big thing happens.
Nice.
You wouldn't believe it. It's crazy, and maybe
You wouldn't read about it.
No, things might be the same, and then
Then they are the same?
then it's the same. Then it's 11 episodes of nothing, and Rick going, "We just got to stick together," or he'll go mad for a couple episodes,
Nice.
and then shoot someone in the head because to prove that he's the leader. And then they're like, "Rick, you've gone too far." And
A
he's like,
human person?
yeah, it's fine.
Wow.
And then he's like, "I'll tell you if I've gone too far." But then he'll come around and do a speech about community and getting together.
Does the Walking Dead have a... Is it a core cast of actual characters and then a whole bunch of bystanders that can just get shot in the head if
Yes.
they need to kill somebody?
Yes.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Is it a function of, okay, if we just take the stories that exist in the Walking Dead comic book and we put them on screen, we as the writers don't get as much money or as many credits?
Well, Robert Kirkman's heavily involved.
Right,
So
okay.
I don't think so. Also, if you looked at it, it's pretty close.
Right.
But there's just elements, and I think it's the stupidity.
Yeah, right.
And it's the cicadas, because there's just a constant cicada noise in the background,
Oh.
which is just, the area it's set in.
Do you think that's driving you mad?
I think so. It's very possible.
Yeah,
It's enough that I can't help but notice it. It's just that there's opportunities where you can shoot the villain, but they don't.
Yeah, right.
There's things like that. Like Rick, like there's
Who did they get? Does anybody get put in that position in the comic book? Is there
not as much. No, often if they get in that position, they'll take it.
right?
Yeah. Or there's
so weird.
Yeah, I know. Or there's reasons why. Like, Negan's a really interesting character in the comic, but in the show he's played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He does a good job, but he's written so poorly.
Yeah, right.
That it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, there's a bit where Carl steps off the back of a truck with a machine gun to shoot him.
Carl.
And I know, it's Rick's son. And he's right there. Oh, is he right there? I don't even know. There's bits where, like...
He's probably within machine gun range.
Yeah, but there's moments where it's very possible. That's probably not an accurate example, where they could shoot him and they don't.
Right.
And it's just...
Is Negan still wearing that scarf?
Yeah, he's still wearing the scarf and the leather jacket, even though it's 1,000 degrees and whatever.
Nice.
But it's... I don't know, man. It's
I'm hearing,
it's just boring.
Well, what I'm hearing is know your limits and know when to wrap it up.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
evident from what I can tell here, it seems like the TV guys are like, we're onto a gravy train here.
Yeah.
Let us stretch this out.
Yes.
This will never end.
Absolutely. And there's also
But it's going to end when people stop watching it.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
Do you think they're going to?
It's not badly directed.
Right.
The special effects are great. Like, the zombie design is really good. It's well acted for the most part.
Yeah, right.
It's just at its core, it just sucks.
Yeah, right.
It's
right.
just-
And how many seasons has it been?
it's 5 or 6 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Also, there's a character who's.
I guess my question is, like, how many TV shows in the world generally go more than that?
Not
to be
many,
quite
yeah.
rare, it's The Simpsons and South Park.
Yeah, right. Your Family Guys. And
surely
whatever.
at this point you should just
MASH.
go, okay, realistically, we might get 6 seasons out of this.
Yeah.
Let's just plot out what we have. Let's not spread it out.
Well, it could also be it could be 10. You know what I
Ugh.
mean? If you took not 10 episodes, 10 episodes a season, because it's
Yeah,
like
right.
22 or whatever they do.
Right.
Like, that's a big part of it. And they split the season into 2. So at the mid-season finale, like, a big thing happens, and then when they come back from the break, the big thing continues to happen, and then it's nothing again
Yeah, right,
for 11
right.
episodes and whatever. Okay, so there's a character called Morgan, right? And he's a really interesting character because in season 1 you see him, and he's alive. Spoilers. He's alive with his son. He's one of the few survivors that are left, and Rick meets up with him, and they have a bit of a bonding moment because they've both got kids about the same age. Morgan. Anyway, you go back to him like 4 seasons later. His son's dead.
Did we see that? Or
No,
off
it
camera?
happens off, and it's because it's also the story in the comic, and he's gone mad, right?
Yeah.
So he's just
He's pulled a Rick.
no, and it's completely. Of course he has, right? And he doesn't care for himself or others. He'll kill anybody or anything. And then a guy takes him in and teaches him. I can't remember, like, to be a Buddhist.
Crocheting.
Yeah,
Oh.
crochet, like to be a Buddhist, and he teaches him to only fight in self-defense and not kill. So Morgan moves into their community and then is telling everybody, don't kill. This is how you do self-defense. These people, even though they're enemies, we shouldn't shoot them in the head. And
Crochet this saying on a pillow.
that's right. And this season, he's just indiscriminately shooting anybody in the head.
Right.
And that's so many
When you
characters.
say anybody, you mean...
I mean anybody. I'm mostly bad guys. but-
And also generic townsfolk. or
yeah, a
whatever.
lot of that. And it's just a thing like, why am I following any of this? You know?
Right.
And Rick's been through that, a whole lot of different characters. The story arcs are insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, anyway, this wasn't supposed to be about The Walking Dead.
But I am glad that I don't have to watch this.
Don't worry, I'll cut this out when I'm coughing.
No, leave it in.
No, I'm going to cut it out. I'll mute your mic. And then...
So that I can't reveal you've been coughing this whole time. Wow.
But I think
James was coughing.
this is the core
You
problem.
probably cut it out because he's a coward.
This is the core problem with a lot of these shows and this is the problem with Justice League and a lot of the X-Men films. The average stuff will kill comic book adaptations.
Oh, absolutely. We were talking
It's
about
not
that
gonna
last
be,
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to be bad necessarily. I don't think you can get a Batman and Robin style juggernaut that will kill the entire thing because there's too many different studios and production companies working on properties at once. If DC goes under,
Yeah.
Marvel is not affected by that
Do
necessarily.
you think what might happen? Because many years ago, Nintendo and Sega were the forefront of the console wars.
Sure.
And now Sega just makes games for Nintendo.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
think it might be a case that in the future Marvel Studios is going to make DC movies?
I think it's possible. Maybe not DC, but I think there will obviously be a shift. I mean, we've seen that in, like, we've even talked about this episode where other comic companies have bought like comic companies that were big have bought other characters. And,
Yeah, right.
and whatnot.
Integrated them in,
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, that being said, last week I did say that a lot of people can't tell the difference between Marvel and DC or whatever. But I guess in retrospect, they absolutely can.
think so,
Because
yeah, to an
Ragnarok
extent.
did great.
Yeah.
And Justice League, not so much.
Yeah.
And you'd think if people were burned out on, DC's Suicide Squad and etc.,
Yeah.
and they were sort of conflating all the comic book movies together, then Ragnarok would have done poorly.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah.
it didn't.
No.
It skipped a generation. It went Ragnarok went fine, and then Justice League not so much. Do we have any updated numbers on Justice League? Do we know how it's doing?
It's dropped by like something like 56%.
That seems
It's
average,
not so
though.
bad, but
that's fine, right?
Yeah, but it's also it didn't do super well in the first week,
Right.
so it only did it did less than we said. They thought it was going to do 96, and it did 93 or something like that.
right,
So
right.
it'll make I don't know close to 50, but it's not number one second week. Coco's number one, and it's not good. But it's doing a little bit better overseas, like China. It opened really well, and whatever. So with the extended cut, they'll inevitably release. It'll definitely make us money back. Yeah.
I kind of want to see a DC one-shot, Deathstroke Lex Luthor party boat.
Oh,
You'd watch that, right?
I would absolutely watch that.
Having a party on a boat.
Does it have to be Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll still watch it.
Okay.
Mason, do you think
Yes.
they should maybe?
That's my problem. I don't
You
think.
don't think? Do you think it's possible?
Yes.
That maybe they should just bench Batman for a little bit? I mentioned this last week.
They did it for a while and it worked great guns.
Yeah.
What was the difference? What was the dark Batman Begins
97 or 200005. It was
Right,
8
okay.
years.
It was 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That worked.
Primo molto bene.
It was primo molto bene, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think you could just retire. I know people probably don't, a lot of people don't
Yeah.
want that,
uh-huh.
but I just think it's,
I don't know. I like the production design of this Batman. I think a lot of people. I think there was a poll on our Planet Broadcasting group, Planet Broadcasting Great Mates.
Check
and
it
was,
out.
who's the best Batman?
Yeah.
And I think Affleck stormed the pot. Like, who's the best cinematic Batman? And I think Affleck was way out in front.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think it's Affleck that they like. I like that version of Batman because it's the production design of the suit.
Yeah.
And
the goggles,
the goggles. I love the goggles.
the musculature.
Yeah, the musculature, the bat symbol. Like, it looks.
Yeah, it's great.
It's the most comic booky of the
Yeah.
Batmans, I think. And it's got like the Arkham. It's integrated a lot of stuff that people like about
Yeah.
various versions, and it's put it all together. They've given him the voice synthesizer, so he doesn't have to put on the stupid voice.
Yeah.
It's got like the Arkham heads-up display in his gauntlet. It's got all that sort of stuff.
But he's a killer.
But he's a killer, exactly right. And they like that he's a killer.
Yeah.
He's finally taken the safeties off. I don't know. I would like to see.
But you didn't like the representation of him in Justice
Oh
League.
no, it's bad. It's
Yeah.
real bad.
I also didn't
It's
like
even
it,
bad
yeah.
in this because he doesn't care what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I like the looks. I think they should.
Is that enough?
No, it's not enough. But I
Yeah.
think they should just directly transplant that look into another movie.
Yeah.
And just say, remember all that? Just forget about it.
Yeah.
Just don't even worry about it. Here's Gyllenhaal. He's somebody who I don't know. We're tapping Gyllenhaal. I don't even know if he's interested. but
Yeah.
Just anybody who cares about the role, just put him in a standalone. I still want to see that.
Yeah, no, I want to see it too.
Yeah.
But I just think if people aren't coming out to see Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and
Yeah.
whatever in a film together,
Yeah.
something is wrong at the core here.
Oh, yeah,
And
for
I'm not
sure.
saying Batman's the problem, but Warner Brothers have been kind of beating us over the head with this stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not working.
Yeah.
And even a lot of people who are fans of the Batman v Superman don't like Justice League
Right.
because it's not a Zack Snyder Batman film.
Yeah, right.
Not a Zack Snyder DC film. So who is it for?
Yeah,
Like
right.
they're trying to get a new audience, which they
Just
didn't.
people who want to have a fun time,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I just think in trying to appease everybody,
Yep.
they're not doing
I think
anything.
they might have to. What I think would redeem it for me is just build a proof of concept trailer for a new version of Batman.
Yep.
That looks good, and he's doing some Batman stuff.
Some
and
detecting.
He's doing some detecting.
Because he
You know
got his
what I mean?
night vision goggles on.
Exactly.
He's doing a flip over somebody's head.
Does that make sense? I mean, like
Yeah.
a lot of stuff they've rebooted in the past, or they've gone, or a director's had a vision and has put together off their own back, or they've paid for it themselves, or they've gotten $1 million and they've gone, okay, here's a scene that epitomizes what my movie's going to be about,
Yeah.
and they've just sort of released it into the world. And I think that would work if you went, okay, here's the Batman, here's the visual representation of Batman that you like. He's got the suit you like. He's got the voice synthesizer. He's got the gauntlets. He's got the whatever. He's got the grappling hook. He's got the grenades.
Yep.
He's killing indiscriminately.
Got the machine gun.
Yeah.
It's got
But
it
then
all.
just put it in. But then just put it in kind of like a noirish kind of.
Yeah.
Just give me one scene.
See,
Just give me one scene that I can 100% believe in.
Yeah.
And then I'm back in.
See, that was like the warehouse fight for me. In
Yeah,
Batman
exactly.
Superman.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is...
So just to be clear, Warner Brothers, if you're listening, give me one definitive scene, but bear in mind I'm very easily tricked.
But I think also... Imagine though if we hadn't seen Batman since The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
Which was 5 years ago. It's now 2017. It's nearly 18. And then they're like, in 2018, we're bringing back Batman in this new universe. Say we'd only had Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel 2, Aquaman.
Right.
And then they're like, and then we're going to do Batman.
And Batman v Dawn
Yeah.
of Justice.
No,
And
not
Batman's
no.
Oh, sorry. No, it's just sorry. I misspoke there. It's v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
And it's Superman just tripping over things and nearly impaling himself on a kryptonite spear. Batman's not. He's been rubbed out of it.
Yeah. Like, don't you think that would be... And maybe you introduced Bruce Wayne in the movie before.
Yeah, right.
Don't you think... Imagine the hype.
Oh.
Because it would have been... Then that's 6 years.
Yep.
And then you're bringing in your new Batman. But they didn't let it breathe.
Right.
And I like... And imagine doing that version you're talking about with the gauntlets and the voice and the machine gun. But you're getting
Just
it...
to be clear, they should be no machine gun.
But they're doing it...
We're saying the machine gun for humor. I don't like machine gun. You shouldn't be machine gunning anybody.
Yeah. But they do it next year as opposed
Yeah.
to what they've had so far.
I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that
But don't you think even if we got that version that you're talking about,
Yeah.
people are too burnt on it to maybe for it to do as well as
Oh,
it
now
should?
they are, sure.
Yeah.
I think if they'd done it well off the bat, people wouldn't have needed that breathing room.
Yeah.
I think if they'd just gone, hey, listen, he needs to be a bit more comic booky to survive in the Man of Steel universe.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be more armored and sillier and what have you.
Yeah, right.
I think it still would have worked. I think everybody would have suspended disbelief and gone, okay, well, it's not going to be the Christian Bale Batman who's always breaking his ribs and falling off a roof or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be just imagine this is 20 years later and he's really good at it now.
Okay, cool.
I think people wouldn't have been. I think it's just the universe he got put into,
Okay, fair enough.
the writing he got put into.
All right, well, what about this? What would it take for you?
Yes.
Let's say you didn't have to you weren't forced to do this podcast by Gypsy Curse.
Oh, yeah, mhm.
What would it take for you to stop watching all of this stuff? Because I remember when we started this,
Yeah.
you hadn't seen Man of Steel.
Correct.
And we started this like 2014, so
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a year later. And there was a few things that you were kind of not up to date on at that point. You'd seen probably most of the Marvel movies, maybe?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what would it take for you to get back to that point where you're just not seeing everything and you don't care it? Like, what would have to happen? Would it be the average or would it be bomb after bomb?
I think Aquaman has to be bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I do not have a
But
fun
even when you've got Wonder Woman 2 coming,
oh yeah.
I'm not even talking about like just DC. I'm talking about
Yeah.
everything. What would it take for you to stop watching Marvel films, X-Men, TV shows,
Oh, wow.
everything? Like, what would it be?
Ooh.
Like, is it just average boring stuff? Is there like no highs or lows? Just because I even like it when a bad one comes out. Like
Right.
Fantastic Four was hilarious.
That's true. It was. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like the mediocre ones.
Yeah. I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be a year of like Doctor Stranges.
Right. Okay.
Again, there was stuff to like in Doctor Strange.
The strangeness.
The strangest, certainly. The magical realms.
Right.
But I think if they just went, okay, here's our new paradigm. We're just going to do Doctor Strange-esque origin stories for a year.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to tap out
Okay.
because there was stuff to like in it, but for me that was not. It was just.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There wasn't even enough to make fun of it in that movie.
No.
It was just okay. This is.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was fine, but
Yeah.
he had an origin, and then he did some kung fu.
Do you think Marvel would allow that to happen?
Not now.
Yeah.
I think if that would have been a hit, I think they would have just kept doing it.
I mean, it was a hit. It did well.
Wait.
Doctor Strange.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Uh
I mean, it didn't do as well as Ragnarok. So
see, that's what I'm saying. I think if that made like Avengers money,
Yeah.
I don't know if it did, but if
No.
it made billions of dollars
No.
and people were like this is the most, I think that would have set them in stone because that's kind of how the Marvel Cinematic Universe worked.
Yeah.
Initially, is they didn't really have a plan, and then Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. put together Iron Man. Like just kind of loosey goose and whatever, and then I think they immediately went, "This worked. This was a hit. every one of these is going to be like this.
We didn't fluke this.
Yeah, exactly.
We kind
yeah.
of did.
Yeah, so let's that works. Let's do this formula until it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think the similar thing would have happened with this if Doctor Strange would have made Avengers money. I think they would have just gone, okay, that's what people like. They like the origin movies, and I think that would have similarly with the Spider-Man movies. They were just fine for me. They were just fine, and they just went.
And they're worse in retrospect because they're fine. Yeah.
And I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies were just absolutely.
I was talking about them. You're talking about
all of them. I'm talking all of them.
Yeah.
But like the Amazing Spider-Man movies were just absolutely by the numbers.
Yeah.
And I think if Strange had been successful and they went, okay, let's do another year of these.
Yeah.
That's it. I think.
I remember getting.
I think the fact that they didn't work I think the fact that one didn't work as well as it could have. That kind of broke them out of the mold again.
Yeah.
And this similarly with Ant-Man, where they were gonna get Edgar Wright to give his singular vision. His vision was not what they wanted because it was straight out too far.
Yeah.
Then they gave us Ant-Man again, which
fine.
it was fine.
Yeah.
I liked most of it. I think a couple of those in a row, they went, oh, maybe it is time to give somebody a vision.
If we're gonna give, say, an Edgar Wright a film, then let's let him do it. Which is what Ragnarok is.
Which is what Ragnarok was. They went, okay, well, let's.
But you also run that risk when you do that you get, say, like a Josh Trank.
Yeah, right.
And they go off the deep end for whether it be his fault or the studio's fault, or what Star Wars is doing. They're hiring and firing like madmen.
That's true.
Like there is a risk associated with that, but I think the reward is much.
I agree. Yeah,
better.
And I think again, it's trope fatigue.
Yeah.
It's not even superhero fatigue. It's trope fatigue, and
And that's so you're talking about you see this kind of stuff in any film. Like you don't want average Star Wars films.
Yeah,
you don't want,
it's any genre film, especially, and
Yeah.
you kind of have to have tropes in a film.
If you don't, what are you doing?
When it's not, you can't just go, oh, this had the trope where it has an origin. Yeah, well, it's going to have an origin.
Yeah.
So but I think they've finally acknowledged that if these movies don't evolve to some degree, we are going to get exhausted by them.
Yeah.
We're going to get sick of them. So that's why they've gone, yeah, maybe Taika Waititi is a good idea.
Yeah. I think also they're looking at.
Maybe
For
Patty
me-
Jenkins is a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that I remember when, what am I even saying? I was getting a bit kind of like marveled out.
Yeah, right.
And then Winter Soldier hit and then Guardians. Mm-hmm. And then they're not similar at all.
Right.
But that was the point to me where I was like, oh no, they're doing something interesting. And then it kind of dipped a little bit. It ebbs and flows and whatever. Then you get your Age of Ultrons and whatever. But yeah, I think they clearly have been listening as they go because we get a movie like Winter Soldier. Because we get even Spider-Man: Homecoming. I thought was great. I really I think that might be my favorite Marvel movie this year.
Ooh.
I think, which is crazy because that's like you said about Spider-Man films being burnt. But Marvel are clearly catch onto this stuff before others. And I think Fox are following suit. It seems from what they're bringing out. DC I don't know where they're at. I mean,
maybe now's the time.
I mean, Wonder Woman, that's the thing though, because Wonder Woman was good and because James Gunn's doing Aquaman, I'm like, this isn't dead by any stretch.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they'll probably have to build back audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people, like, I've been asked, people like, my mate Joe, who was like, and he's a big DC, he likes comic books, not like a big nerd like you, Mason. But he likes this stuff a lot. And he's like, should I see Justice League? And I'm like, probably not.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I had fun with it.
Yeah,
but
you mentioned it any number of times.
But I can't wholeheartedly recommend that he should see it.
No.
Yeah. And that's bad, right? Even
Totally,
when
yeah.
I didn't hate it, I'm not gonna say somebody else should see it.
Yeah.
If he said, should I see Thor Ragnarok, even though I had problems with it, I'd be like, yeah, definitely.
Here's a question
should.
for you. Would you not recommend Justice League because it's embarrassing for you?
No, I just don't think. I know that it's not great.
Right.
And
because
I know
I maybe felt like a few years ago, pre Iron Man probably, there are movies like that I wouldn't recommend because I'm like, because they represent, hey, comic books, there's things that I like.
Yeah.
Here's Green Lantern or whatever. Or
I would never recommend Green
Well,
Lantern.
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you'd be like, at a certain point, there were so few of them
Yeah.
that you'd be like, hey, this is a cinematic representation of what I like,
Yeah,
kind of
right,
thing.
yeah.
But I could wholeheartedly go, hey, Iron Man, you should see that. It's fun. It's got some comic booky stuff in it, but it's funny
You don't need
and
to
it's
know
got
any
good
of it, yeah.
performances and it's, doesn't take itself too seriously, etc.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that. I mean, because I'd happily recommend a bunch of stuff.
Because I think that's how I feel about Batman versus Superman.
So you don't recommend it to... Well, I wouldn't
Yeah, but I
recommend
mean,
it.
like, because...
I'd say watch the desert scene on
Yeah,
YouTube.
that's true. Because, like, traditionally, if you don't know a lot about superheroes, you'd go, well, why is Batman fighting Superman?
It's a confusing movie to start
Wouldn't
with.
Superman
yeah.
just punch Batman into space kind of
Yeah.
thing? And if you're a comic book person, you go, oh no, here's where you're wrong, because Batman he's got the tricks and he knows what he's doing and he's trained and he's a million moves ahead or whatever. And I would have liked to have seen a version of that.
We didn't get that though,
Didn't
did
get
we?
that though. Yeah.
Got a sound cannon and a spear.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, but I think... I don't
Grenade
know.
launcher that takes 10 full seconds to reload.
Yeah, that's right.
Just shoot his hands off.
We did count
Just
that.
laser
yeah.
his hands
Laser
off.
his hands right off. But I think I enjoyed Justice League in the way that you enjoyed Geostorm and I hated Geostorm.
Right,
I think it's like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Geostorm is... or even the way that you liked Ninja Turtles and I...
Yeah, right.
And
Uh-huh.
what was the last one called? I can't remember. But I wouldn't recommend any of these films.
Right.
You know, to... Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway. Should we... I don't know. What are we doing? I don't think they're ever going to go away. I think
Yep.
even if something happens like cataclysmic when this all goes under...
Yeah, right.
I think it's just like, it'll be like the Western, where the Western was the biggest thing in the world. And like at one point, war movies were the biggest thing in the world, you know?
Right.
We'll still get them, but it will be
Yeah.
like a couple a year as opposed to, or maybe not even, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that sounds bad.
Yeah, but every now and then, though, you get a really good Western.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
So...
All right, well, if we're wrapping this up, should we fix superhero movies right now? Should we just...
Do you want
and,
to?
and TVs,
I mean,
series?
I can't. If you could sum it up.
All right, okay. TV series is
Yep.
bloody...
Less.
week to week.
Week to
Put
week.
them out week to week. Just do one and see what happens.
Also, maybe instead of doing 27 a year, just do 10.
Right? Uh-huh.
It's not unreasonable.
That's good.
Yeah.
What else? How else can we fix these?
Make a better version of Batman.
Make a better version of
Take the things that work and throw out everything else. Potentially even the actor. If he
I mean,
doesn't wanna do it.
hold on to the machine gun just in case.
Obviously, yeah.
Just for emergencies, you might need a machine
And
gun.
even though Mason said he was joking before, he really wants you to keep that machine gun. Is that right?
Don't keep the machine gun.
Make a good Superman movie.
Just don't get dead. You know what? Don't give us an event Superman story.
Yeah.
Don't give us Death of Superman.
Yep.
Don't give us Doomsday. Don't give us whatever else. What else do we get? Don't give us Return of Superman.
Don't give us a bad version of Superman Birthright.
Find just a Superman adventure.
Yep.
In the comic books. Just find a rank. You can probably do it on Google. You can probably Google best Superman stories and it'll tell you.
Just do All-Star Superman.
Just do All-Star
Oh,
Superman.
wait, does he die in that?
He dies in that. He dies at the end.
Okay, not that one.
No, but just get a well-received one and have him just do that.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yep.
Why haven't they done it yet?
Because all the known Superman stories are like the death of and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What
they
else?
should have done Birthright. They should have done Birthright out the gate. They did
Yep.
a little bit of it, but then they did something else on a boat,
Yeah.
on an oil rig, and then he let his
yeah.
dad fall into a tornado. Anyway, that's pretty specific. We're talking broad. We should
right.
we should go broader here, not just Superman. Variety. It's the spice of life,
Variety's
baby.
the spice of life. Let some let directors run wild. Get some directors with vision.
Yeah.
Not
Don't get young hotshot directors and then get them to make something and then take it away from them.
yeah.
Maybe just don't get young hotshot directors. Maybe let people kind of build up their film.
Yeah,
Like
right.
get like a Duncan Jones.
Sure,
He's
yeah.
done a few. Like people didn't love Warcraft, including us.
Yeah.
But he's proven as a director that he can
Yeah.
do some bigger budget stuff.
I would rather. Would you rather see 50% great films and 50% absolute mess disasters, or 100% bland movies?
Oh, that one, definitely.
The bland ones?
No. The first one. Sorry.
Right.
I was thinking of the thing that yeah.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. I would even rather just see just disasters than just bland.
Same, I think.
Yeah.
At least there's something to talk
Something
about.
to talk about, yeah.
You
Like there's
know-
movies that people want us to do commentaries for, and I'm like, I don't want to do one for
Yeah.
Iron Man 2.
Imagine if we had a year of, oh yeah, then I liked when he had his origin and then he realized that he was being a bit callous and
Yeah.
uncaring, but then he realized the world needed him, so he was a superhero. It's
What a
pretty
world.
good. He has a love interest, doesn't he? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked his car.
He couldn't get it together, but
Then he did.
Something was holding him back, but then
And he
that wasn't holding him
realized
back.
it was important but it actually wasn't the powers it was the man that was important.
But the powers helped.
It was good that he had the power to fly because that would save the thing in the end. Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we saved superhero movies.
One more
What a relief.
thing.
Oh yeah,
You don't have to do just superhero movies. Comics are about literally everything.
that's true.
Take everything out. Look at what's good. Type in top 50 comic books of all time.
Yep.
Just work your way down.
That's right.
A lot of them are not comic book movies. Are not superhero movies, sorry.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, look at like
Sex Criminals. We
Road
talked
to,
about that a couple
Road
of
to
weeks ago.
Perdition.
Road to
That's
Perdition.
That's
that didn't do well at the box office, surely.
I don't know. It was from like the early 2000s. That's a
Yeah,
comic
right.
book. The one where Viggo Mortensen is the
History of Violence.
History of Violence. That's a comic. Ghost World is apparently good. I haven't seen it. Scott Pilgrim. I mean, it didn't do well, but it's a comic book movie. That's not a good example.
None of these are good examples, if I'm honest with you. All of these are bad examples that didn't do well.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably middle ground you can do. You can do
Yeah.
like a deconstruction of the superhero genre and then you work your way into
Yeah,
this.
right.
I think there's a few stepping stones before you get there. Because, I don't know. Do you think it's enough to tell people that it's based off a graphic novel that they'll go and see it now? Probably not.
No.
From Hell. Johnny Depp.
All of these are very bad examples.
I just think that, there are some killer comics that you could do, yeah.
But I think now, especially, and honestly, I can't think of any off the top of my head besides Sex Criminals, but
Yeah.
there's got to be tons. But I think maybe, more sci-fi genre-y than slice of lifey, but who knows?
People will get sick of seeing capes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, but I think you can avoid that by doing some different stuff. Yeah. Flipping the genre on its head, like
absolutely.
a Deadpool. Our Deadpool trailer breakdown's up, I think. No,
Yeah,
it is. It definitely is
yeah.
at this point. Great.
Nice.
All right, Mason, that'll do it.
We
I don't even know
saved
what that was
movies.
about. And that was kind of, that felt unfocused. Was that all right?
I felt very focused.
Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah. You know what it's time for then?
What's it time for?
It's time for What Are We Reading?
Oh, what are we going to read?
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? We've got the same thing we've been
Let's talk about
reading.
Doomsday Clock.
Woo! Oh, spoilers?
Spoilers. Initially, no spoilers, I guess.
I haven't read it.
Yes, you
have.
have. You're a liar. So Doomsday Clock, for anybody if Doomsday Clock, it's the first issue is out. It's the first issue of the long-awaited continuation to Alan Moore's classic Watchmen.
Long awaited?
Long-awaited. They said it shouldn't be done and couldn't be done. Maybe it shouldn't be done. We don't know yet. It's only one issue in.
Yeah.
But this is Jeff Johns, who's like DC's
Head of creative
head of
everything.
creative everything. He's the big gun.
Also, maybe he's in charge of films, or is he?
Who knows? and being drawn by Gary Frank, who I know probably best from Supreme Power, which was a Marvel Max series from a few years ago.
I've not read that.
It's real good. It's real good.
Okay.
So this is...
It's less Dave Gibbons, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a continuation of the Watchmen universe a number of years, 7 years later, I think.
Yep.
And this
It's the early
also-
90s, yeah.
And in some way, it's going to tie in with the DC universe. We don't really know yet.
No. I don't think it should.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the thing.
I mean, it will.
Yeah, non-spoilery. I quite like this first issue.
I quite liked it. I have my reservations about it. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think
I'm not sold. Yeah.
You're not sold yet?
No.
Okay. I think that Jeff Johns, he has a certain arrogance that he can be like, I'm going to do a sequel to this. But also I think...
He doesn't like you either, just to be clear.
That's fine. But I read an article a while back where he's like, I've been working on this plot for years.
Okay.
And I think he is aware that he's really putting his reputation on the line by doing this. And I think he's like, I don't know how it's going to go necessarily. And I think it's a little bit by the numbers so far.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably going to work to some extent.
I'm finding, before we do spoilers, there's stuff about like the president's busy
Oh, it's
playing golf.
very
and
topical to now,
It's
isn't
like,
it?
yeah, we get that's so,
Yeah.
what a clever parallel. You're just doing what's happening in the news, and maybe that was also what it was in the 80s.
I think it was, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think he's had.
wasn't
I think
alive
he's.
probably, yeah.
I think he's. It's a little bit by the numbers in the sense that he's gone. Okay, well, what did the original Watchmen have?
Yeah.
Better sprinkle a little bit of that in.
Yeah.
But I think otherwise, their
their president's supposed to be Robert Redford.
It's
Also,
Robert Redford. That's right,
Yeah.
because he got elected at the end of the last one.
Yeah.
But I think there's a couple of new characters that I think work. Like I think they are like dead on to that universe.
I found myself thinking, are these original characters? Are they from the original?
they're new.
Yeah, that's I know that, but like
Yeah.
I'm like, are these minor characters that because they felt very organic.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. I think he's very clearly gone, okay, I got to workshop some characters that I got to do. If I just play the old hits, people are going to be like, why is he even bothered?
Why
kind
do
of
this,
thing.
yeah.
So I think he's clearly workshopped those to a T and gone. Okay,
A little bit of
this-
magic.
Yeah. I don't know if 100% this is going to work, but I think he's definitely committed to going, I can't just throw this out here and make anything.
I didn't know that he'd been working on it for years. I mean, it's not something you want to be like, oh yeah, I'll give this a crack.
I mean, I don't know if he's been working on the script for years, but he's apparently been working out. The ideas have been there for years. And the art is great, I think.
It is. And I think the art is good because the art, it is dated in terms of, it's very traditional, the original Watchmen, in a good way. It's incredible, obviously, but this feels like a modern reimagining. And I don't mean that as a dig towards the original one at all. I just think it's a good update of that universe. Yeah. Should we do a little bit of spoilers?
Yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to the rest
Me
of this.
too, totally. How many? Do you know how many?
There's going to be 12.
Is there going to be parallel stories and whatever?
As opposed to, like in the original.
No, I mean in terms of like, there's going to be a Superman comic where it's
I don't think so. No.
I hope not.
I think it's entirely self-contained.
Is it even set in? So it's set.
We'll have to. We'll talk about it now. Okay, I'm going to say best comic ever. I'm looking forward to the rest.
Me too.
I hope it's self-contained, and I hope bloody I can put it on the shelf with a regular Watchmen later. I don't know.
And with your Watchmen.
That being said, I had this thought a while that Alan Moore's always against this, and he's like, "How dare they use my whatever?" The last 10 years of his career has just been him taking out of copyright characters and making them rude. That's the last 10 years.
I wouldn't know, actually,
and I'm curious as to what the line for him is, because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is just kind of public domain characters that he's put a twist on, and I really like every bit of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, even the newer weirder stuff.
Yeah,
but is he saying that after he dies, Watchmen is fair game again? Or is he like, I'm the only one who's got the juice to take somebody else's characters?
You think there's an arrogance to that?
A Jeff Johns-esque arrogance. Okay. Maybe that's why this is going to work. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, maybe, yeah.
Because he's taken Superman and written a great Superman story.
Sure, yeah.
So, Anyway, spoilers?
Sure. But, yeah.
Who do you think Rorschach is?
Someone new.
I think it's somebody old.
Oh, who?
So this...
Well, we know he's a black man.
Yeah, he's Rorschach Black.
Yeah.
So, because
is that what they're calling him?
That's what I'm calling him. I'm calling it now. # Rorschach Black. But yeah, so my initial thought when we saw the preview to this, I thought, well, maybe this is like he's Dr. Manhattan reconstituted him somehow.
Like, it's like a Night Owl or someone.
Yeah, or
a returning character.
So but it's definitely not Night Owl now, and it's definitely not. Dr. Manhattan didn't teleport him away and then bring him back.
No, he's dead.
It's definitely
and Jeff Johns has even said it's the same way that there's been multiple Night Owls. This is another Rorschach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He appears to be manipulated by Ozymandias as well.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So technically, this could be anybody, like any black guy in the Watchmen universe.
Sure.
But due to the laws of comic books, I feel it's somebody we've seen before.
Right.
So it's either somebody from the Watchmen universe or potentially it's somebody...
From the DC
universe who got unmoored during the Crisis on Infinite Earths, maybe, and has ended up in this universe because they both happened in like 1985, 86.
Do you have ideas of who that might be?
No, but here's the thing: to the best of my recollection, there are 3 black people in the original Watchmen.
One of them is the newspaper man.
One of them is the kid who is reading comic books outside the newsstand. And if you remember that. At the end...
But why him? Like, is it a coincidence? Like, because he doesn't serve a... His narrative isn't consequential to the plot.
That's true.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. I'm just saying you can't rule him out.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's at the epicenter of the blast at the original, but the news vendor, like, shields him from it.
Okay.
And at the end, you see they're both on the ground, and he's got blood on his face, but you can't really...
Rorschach's a bit messed up as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay,
Psychic shockwave.
Yeah.
And if he was like 12 or 13 in the original, then he's like 20 now, so that could work. The other 2 are when Rorschach goes to prison, Ernest goes to camp style.
Yes.
There's an inmate at the prison who like threatens him in the lunch line and like is going to shiv him.
And he throws hot oil.
He throws hot boiling oil in his face. So what better reason to wear a mask than if somebody burnt your whole face off?
Good point.
But he's a fairly minor character, so who
What's
knows?
the third one?
The third one is the psychiatrist that attempts to treat Rorschach.
He's too old.
Not necessarily. He's fat also. but he gets trimmed down. But what I'm saying
People do
is
it.
he attempts to treat Rorschach, and Rorschach essentially drives him insane.
Yeah.
Because afterwards he goes to a dinner party and they're like, "What have you been up to, doctor? What funny things have been happening?" And it's like, "My patient told me about this time he found a guy molesting children, so he cut him up and fed him to dogs or whatever." And then they all leave, and then his wife presumably leaves him or whatever. And in one page his whole life gets ruined.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there is a possibility that he just went insane.
Yeah.
And when Rorschach died, like he caught in the madness.
Right.
And he's trimmed, he's slimmed down, and he's become the new
Like
Rorschach.
tasting the rainbow.
Like tasting the rainbow. Once you pop, you can't stop
Very
being
good.
a lunatic. You know what I mean?
Well, those are all, I would say, third one, not as much.
Really?
Plausible.
I think
but
so.
Simply because of his age. I think it's
Yeah.
somebody younger.
Okay.
The
But they're
kid-
all old in this universe.
Yeah. The kid, though, if I had to bank on any of them, the kid makes a lot of sense
Yeah,
to
right.
me. Yeah. Do you like this new version of Rorschach?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's even more crazy than the previous.
Well, he's not all there, obviously.
Yeah,
like
right.
he's been hit in the head or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you think Ozymandias' play is here?
It's a good question. Because he can't... Because
He's
the
trying
world...
to save the world.
The world at large is now very well aware that he did this.
Yeah. And by the way, I love that element of this, coming
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to this universe 7 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't
I
think
thought I'd
would.
hate it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But I like seeing it. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Like it was, well, he's not a bad guy in the strictest sense of he was doing it to save the world.
Yes.
So you could also assume that his intentions are good.
Good again,
Yeah.
right.
But maybe if misguided.
Because he wants to find Dr. Manhattan again,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I think...
And they've also hinted towards Dr. Manhattan being the bad guy.
yeah.
Because he's kind of bleeding over into the regular DC comics.
Yeah, because in the regular DC comics, there were a couple of fake outs.
Yeah.
There was the Button, obviously the Flash Marvel,
Yeah.
the Flash Batman crossover, the Button, and then there was Mr. Oz,
Yeah.
who turned out to be someone else, who we
Yep.
won't say.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But we assumed he was Ozymandias because of Mr. Oz, and he was a mysterious villain, and he'd captured Tim Drake, one of the greatest detectives of the DC universe, because he'd discovered his secret or whatever. So
Turned out to be Paul Hogan, Mr. Oz himself.
that's right. It's got to be surely it's some sort of dimensional breach to.
Right, yeah.
Maybe he wants to. I don't know. It's a mystery, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
In
It
many
is.
ways. In many ways, it's a mystery in 12 parts.
Yes, correct.
It's going to be revealed very.
Is it one a month? They're doing one a month?
I think it's one a month.
I
yeah.
hope they've got it all mapped out. I don't want to...
There's no way they haven't.
Well, we're gonna actually... So this is going to wrap up like this time next year.
Yeah,
That's
right.
nuts, yeah.
Is pretty bloody
Should
weird.
we do a check-in every now and then?
I think we should check in every now and then.
Absolutely. All right.
I don't know. Also,
I am skeptical of... of how they're going to bring in regular DC universe and it not be weird and terrible.
I would like
I don't think it needs to.
Here's the thing. I would like read listener input on this if you've got any theories about this. But here's the thing, and here's a question for the listeners. I attempted to ask this on the Serious Issues podcast, and I got on the podcast page. I got nothing. In the current DC continuity, did Clark Kent's parents die in a car crash? Because at the end of because there's a very brief the DC stuff of this is very brief initially.
Yeah.
And in it, Clark Kent has his first nightmare ever when he has the night.
that's
He has a
right,
nightmare
yeah.
where his parents are killed in a car crash and he's in the car crash. So my question is that how his parents die in the current DC reboot?
His mum was alive. I don't know where we're at.
Because that's the thing. Because is it just a dream that he had, or is this how it played out? Because in that case, maybe this isn't the real DC universe.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a different DC.
Which I'd be
universe.
okay with.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
Or it's just a dream he had.
Could be a dream.
Maybe he calls his mum later and he's like, "Yeah, this weird dream.
You
I
alright?
died in a car crash." Yeah.
Did you? No?
No.
Okay.
Still alive?
Great.
Look, Mum, I just have to check. Are you a clone? Are you a chameleon shapeshifter?
Are you a robot woman?
Your robot are you in the future or the past?
Am I in the future or the past?
Past. Okay, love you. Click.
Wait, hang on. Am I a robot?
What am I? Am I Cyborg Superman? This is tricky. Imagine conversations, phone calls in the DC universe. Just all the time.
You wouldn't know who's on the other end.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, Mason, you know what it's time for now then?
Oh no, I've forgotten.
Oh, no. Do you want
Hang
me to
on.
sing the theme?
No.
Do you want me to play the letters theme?
No.
I can do it, Mason.
You have it there.
I can do it.
Oh, that'd be. Why can't you do it every week?
Because that's not
God
fun.
damn it.
It's a race, Mason.
Okay, let's play it together.
That doesn't seem right.
Okay.
The classic one.
Ah!
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. Hang on, they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
RKM424 has done it again.
He did it.
We've been doing that for 2 years nearly now.
Yeah, right.
The date on this is December
Never gets
2015. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know people love it.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Okay, Mason, if you want to reach the show via Twitter, you can. Hashtag
Weekly Planet Pod.
You can also send us an email to the Gmail at weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. Mason is loving it.
You can also go to Planet Broadcasting Great Mates, join up on the group, and maybe put a thing in there and I'll steal your content. Who knows? I didn't do it this week, but I've done it before. Also, there's some questions.
Yep.
There's some when you join the group, there's some questions you got to answer. Mm-hmm. And I think Rob Collins is declining your request if you don't answer
really?
the questions. So
Okay.
So maybe answer.
Oh, they're
the
not
questions.
invasive either, are
No,
they?
they're just like, what's your favorite podcast
Yeah.
and what are you reading?
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. Are you putting on your Justice League lanyard?
Mason,
What's
I'm
wrong
all
with
in.
you?
It's going to be every week.
Oh boy. Oh boy, I mean, you had a lot of fun.
I had so much fun. I
so
can't
much
get this
fun.
on. It's better not be broken.
Okay, do you have a letter? Because I got a letter.
Whatever, you can go first.
Okay, this is from Greg Newby.
Okay.
He says, much has been said of the overwhelming comic book movie content these days, 10 next year alone.
Yeah.
Spare a thought for us comic book loving kids of the 80s and 90s. We were starved of comic book movies, that's true. Except Batman. And what we got was bloody awful. However, the couple of gems in the dust, Spawn, Darkman, The Crow, Tank Girl, Phantom, Blade, Judge Dredd.
Not all of those are good.
No, I was going to say, he said then others. Nick Fury, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Dick Tracy. Apart from Batman and the terrible Fantastic Four and Dick Tracy, do any of these hold up? Just to be clear, Spawn does not hold up.
No.
I don't know, Greg, I don't know when the last time you watched Spawn was, but I think a while back I watched it to prove a point about how it still held up, and it does not hold up.
You sat there, arms crossed.
It was awful.
Brow furrowed.
Yeah. I reckon Darkman probably still holds up.
I remember being funny. Like darkly funny.
It
He
is funny,
breaks
yeah.
that weird guy's fingers at the
That's true, yeah.
throwing game.
Liam Neeson goes insane at a fairground.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's a Sam Raimi one, so
It is, yeah.
it's some weird shit in that.
It was kind of his test. That's the thing. That was his test reel to get Spider-Man in a way. He did. Here's an original property.
Yeah.
Would that get off the ground these days? If you were
Darkman.
Darkman.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
Probably more
not
as a TV
not
show.
another Darkman movie, but like I've created my own superhero.
He didn't create Darkman, did he? Did
I
he
think
create
did.
Darkman?
I'm fairly confident he created Darkman.
Well, you know what? I'm going to answer that question with this answer.
Yes.
The cape. So no. The answer is no.
Oh, that's right.
It's not going to work.
Oh, I forgot. Speaking of that, back to what we're reading. I also read the latest issue of The Punisher.
And?
He gets the War Machine armor.
Yes.
It's pretty good. Match made in heaven, if you ask me.
I think so.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Because I just thought about because the premise basically is Nick Fury tracks him down.
Yeah.
And is basically, hey, because I don't know if you know, but currently Shield's fallen to pieces again.
No idea.
I don't know if you were aware of that.
Yep.
But anyway, he's like, there's some bad guys I need taken care of.
Sure.
And I don't have any men or weapons or equipment, but over in this facility, little special something for you. So if you do me a favor and get rid of these guys, you can do it with
Yeah.
this beautiful baby boy over here.
Did he spray on the...
He will. He hasn't yet.
Yeah.
That being said, there's a splash page where he escapes with the armor and is the worst. It's the worst illustration of the War Machine armor I've ever seen.
Oh,
so they
no.
better tweak it for the next issue. That's what I'm.
It's a
telling
bad
you.
design or just a bad illustration?
It's a bad illustration.
Oh, no.
But like all the cover art for the war, it looks great.
Well, often the covers are different than
That's
the...
true. Yeah.
inside.
But like the just imagine the War Machine armor, spray painted Punisher logo on the front. Mwah.
Molto
Chef's
Benny's.
fingers. Mwah, 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 mwah.
4-minute egg.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's you know it.
Okay. Is Tank Girl good? Holographic head.
That cannot possibly hold up.
I don't think... Isn't there like kangaroos and shit in it?
Blade, do you reckon Blade still holds up?
I think Blade 2 holds up.
I think Blade 1 holds up.
All right, fine.
But again, I think that
You know what? Blade did a lot of legwork.
Yeah. Do you know how much money Mar-Vell got to license that out?
None.
75 grand.
That's not enough.
It's not enough. That's correct.
That's a teacher's salary.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And what did Blade teach us? Nothing.
nothing. I miss my regular teacher salary.
I bet you do. Spawn doesn't hold up. Darkman and Blade, I think, are, again, they're beholden to all the tropes of those movies in the 90s.
Yeah, right.
They were
yeah.
Although, actually, Blade wasn't that origin-y. Like,
A little
his
bit.
origin
He was
told-
Blade when he started, yeah.
His origin was told in like 5 minutes.
He
So
fights
that's not so
a
bad.
weird blood tornado at the end, doesn't he, or whatever? Or is
Yeah,
that
he
the deleted
fights-
scene?
Yeah, he fights
Crispin Glover.
no.
whatever his name is.
Stephen Dorff.
Stephen
You were
Dorff.
close.
Yeah. Both from
Yeah. The Crow.
maybe.
I don't want to watch that again.
I do.
Okay.
We should watch The Crow again. What else you got there?
Dick Tracy.
I watched it in like year 7 drama and
How'd
I
that
remember
go?
liking it, but I haven't seen it since.
That movie was nightmarish though, because it's not. It's
the
so
weird big faces and
all Dick Tracy's villains are horrible mutants.
Yeah.
And it was very much like it was super stylized and cartoony.
because I think they went Batman 89. They went, what else can we do? We'll do
Yeah,
Dick
that's
Tracy.
true. Yeah.
Every now and then,
Everything has to be a Technicolor nightmare world.
every now and then, Warren Beatty will try and sue somebody because they didn't make the sequel.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and even if they did make it, guess what, Warren Beatty, you're not going to be in it.
No. They'll get Channing Tatum.
They will.
As Dick Tracy. Because he's the most brick-headed. Like he absolutely fits into that world, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have him be Dick Tracy reboot.
Yeah.
He is Dick Tracy and everyone else.
Every weird-headed
He's
villain.
flat top.
Yeah.
He's mumbles. He's 88 keys. He's the little newspaper vendor kid. They just shrink him down.
So it's like a. It's like a Jim Carrey Nightmare Before Christmas mocap situation where he's every character.
Yeah, it's Nutty Professor the Clumps, except everyone's a murderer. And they haunt you in your dreams.
They won't make Dick Tracy
No, they
again.
won't. Oh, no, they won't. You're right.
Maybe as a TV
I think
series.
they're
not bringing Dick Tracy to the big
They
screen.
might bring. I reckon they'd bring him back as like a bad generic.
Yeah,
I didn't watch
like the Green Hornet.
I didn't watch the Lethal Weapon series, but
No.
in that kind of vein,
watched the trailer.
where they give him a nod to the, and maybe he tries on a hat in the
It is like, no thank you.
in the premiere episode.
No.
He's like, no, and the love interest like doesn't suit you or whatever, and then he doesn't. You know,
Nobody wants to see...
he'd wear the trench coat. I think.
Yeah, he definitely would.
Yeah.
A banana yellow trench coat.
Yeah.
Any others in there? You didn't mention The Phantom.
The Phantom.
That shit.
Judge Dredd.
I like that movie. It's not good, but I like it.
Right. That's it. Nick Fury with David Hasselhoff.
I've seen clips of it. It's horrible.
I've seen the whole thing.
They do LMDs in it as well, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, what a world.
I know, right?
Yeah. That was also... There was an X-Men in the 90s.
That's
In the
true,
late
yeah.
90s,
Anyway,
Man, I remember that era.
Yeah.
But we didn't know any better.
That's true,
So
we
it
didn't,
wasn't
yeah.
even like we're getting robbed. It was just like, well, this is what it is. Even the best movies from that era aren't good in hindsight.
of any genre.
Man, like action. Oh, no. There's a lot of like good, like Die Hard Speed kind of action movies.
That's true,
From
yeah.
that era. That was the kind of, they were your blockbusters.
But then we're talking about trope burnout again.
Yes,
Where
we
like
are.
if you just went, hey, here's a movie like Speed now, people would be like, oh, it's got the
Well, that was what Geostorm was.
but it's
Yeah.
got the catchphrases and the love interest and the bloody whatevers.
Yeah. Last one like that was probably Cellular,
Oh yeah,
which I quite liked. Yeah.
yeah,
Remember Lucky Number 11?
yeah.
That was good, wasn't it?
Was it though?
I don't know. All right, I got a tweet here from Nathan.
Okay.
Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. With the arrival of the new Fantastic Beasts photo, will you guys do your yearly Harry Potter episode? Love the show. Keep up the good work, Nathan. We should.
Yeah, we should. We got to actually we
one
got
coming,
a
yeah.
Gmail that's from someone else who said do more Harry Potter stuff. What were we up to? We did the first
We're going to
two.
do 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So will you watch... I don't know. We'll try and do it before the end of the year. No
Yeah.
promises.
This is from Sharon Schaefer,
Yeah.
who says she's been working her way through our podcast from the beginning for a few months. She listened to episode 157 where we recapped 1 and 2, Harry Potter 1 and 2.
Was it that long ago?
157, yeah.
I guess it's a year, yeah.
She's a massive Harry Potter fan and the reigning trivia champion for the Palouse... that sentence doesn't end. But I guess the Palouse Harry Potter
What do you mean?
trivia
It
team.
just keeps going.
It just says, and the reigning trivia champion for the Palouse, an area in eastern Washington.
Oh.
There you go. She'd very much enjoy us talking about the rest of the movies. I guess so. We should do that.
Yeah, we're up to 3 and
Yeah.
4.
Okay, cool.
We'll try and do it before the end of the year.
Also, she says, if someone were moving to Australia from the US for reasons, where would you suggest they go? What's the best part of Australia and what's the worst?
To live, Melbourne.
You mean best?
No, yes, for the best, yeah.
Yeah.
Sydney's good to visit. I don't like it.
Okay, good.
But it's, I don't know, what do you like? Sydney,
What if this person has an irrational fear of sharks that extends to video game and cartoon sharks? Yeah,
interesting.
don't move to Bondi.
No.
Yeah.
Don't buy a Street Sharks VHS collection.
Don't go.
Bondi's really nice though.
Yeah.
Like it's expensive, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised how nice Bondi is. Yeah.
Great stuff.
I just thought it was just riddled with needles.
yeah.
It's not.
Okay, Harry Potter episode. We'll put it on the. What was the latest? Oh, the Grindelwald team.
Grindelwald.
Did we see any on-set footage or?
Nah, it's just that picture and whatever.
Okay. Do we see Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gross, that guy. I don't like it.
Yeah, but he's a great actor.
That's not true. I don't even think he is. I think he is, though.
This is from The Real Sam.
Did we put anybody in the bin this week? My famous
John
segment. Did we go-
Lasseter.
Oh, from Pixar. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going in the bin.
In the bin, mate.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Apparently the staff had was it a move called the Lassiter where he moves into like grab you and you have to be like, aha, hey John, whatever, and you in the bin.
Yeah.
Great
Try
stuff.
not to.
Yeah.
Try not to hug people. No, you can hug people. Do you like being hugged?
No.
Is anyone else completely astounded by the amount of the Last Jedi TV spots that are revealing everything? I want to stay away, but I keep going to them, and I'm afraid I know the whole plot or the basic outline already.
I don't know any of the plot.
I've stopped watching it.
Yeah.
So.
But also I don't really think they reveal too much.
No, they do. I reckon that. Yeah, I think they do.
Okay then.
Even Ryan Johnson said stop watching.
Okay, right. Well.
Oh, he said that
All
prior.
right. What's that? In like 3 weeks?
3 weeks, baby.
Okay, all right, let's
Excited?
Yes.
What are you going to see it on?
A movie screen.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In a seat probably.
Okay.
Have a little popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, I will be at the midnight screening with our friend Steele Saunders. Yeah,
I will not.
Which I think is at Knox Cinemas.
Knox's house.
Yeah, Adam Knox's house. Yeah, he's finally opening the doors up to to the public. Yeah, so follow Steel Wars, I guess, on Twitter, and he has all the details.
Grab a
Everyone
ticket.
buy some ticks. And then we're doing a very late podcast after that.
So late. Yeah. No, because I got to go home and review it, so I will not be there, Mason.
Fine.
Yeah. I don't know whether they're going to do preview screenings because they didn't do it for Rogue One in Melbourne. So who knows?
Okay.
Mason, that's the show.
We did
quick,
it.
Quick shout out to Matt Hamby on Twitter. Very very cool dude. Very very funny dude. His fiance. It's her 33rd birthday on Wednesday the 29th. And I wanted to say happy birthday. Sarah loves the podcast and says you have no idea how often your voice rings around the house.
Ooh.
Ring a ding ding.
Precisely.
Corner to corner.
It's your Jesus year. Make the most of it.
That's
'Cause
true.
who knows what's going to happen?
Could be crucified. Is that what you're saying? But don't worry, you'll be back.
No, I thought maybe you'll go spelunking.
Oh.
Maybe go into a little cave for a bit.
Is that what Jesus did?
Yeah, he went spelunking.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the history books have it wrong. And by that I mean the Bible.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, good. Spelunking incident.
He went spelunking.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Sarah. Also, Kale got Ira Glass to say grab that gem.
I saw that, yeah.
Which is madness.
I gave that a retweet. That is, yeah.
He shouldn't have done that.
He looked confused,
I
but
mean,
good on him.
Ira Glass?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
NPR's sweetheart, Ira
Yeah.
Glass. Yeah.
Man of the people.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, good on him. I didn't think he would do that. Doesn't seem the type.
No.
Yeah. He's not all serious, Mason.
He might have been very drunk
Yeah, he probably was. Does he do that?
sometimes.
What a legend.
Yeah.
Nah, don't drink, Mason.
Okay, I
Be
won't.
responsible.
Okay, I won't. Good.
Where can people
You can find us on Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook and Gmail and Twitter and Bandcamp. That website's nearly ready, right?
We'll be ready next
In
week.
the meantime, you can go to planetbcasting.com. We've got a newsletter there. You can sign up. Let's see, I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Like Mr. Sunday Movies.
You can support the show by going to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies,
Yep.
or you can go to our Amazon affiliate link, which is in our episode description. Just click through to regular Amazon. Go buy Spawn and Dick Tracy and Blade and Darkman on DVD and let
And
us
the Phantom.
know. And the Phantom.
And
Let us-
Darkman 2.
Let us know which
with
is the
Armin
best one.
Vosloo.
If we've missed one, if you're like, here's a...
Well, there's the Batman films and whatever.
Yeah, if there's like a one that, like a hidden gem, if you will, that you're like, this is one that nobody ever talks about, but I love it, let us know.
Yeah.
Can't be any of those.
No.
We've said them
That's
already.
right. T-shirts, TeePublic.
Oh,
just say that.
tpublic.com. Let's see. Thank you to the Boot and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our themes. That all blends in together these days.
Yep.
Thank you to everybody who listens and subscribes and tells people about it. We're getting a lot of people on the Planet Broadcasting group who are being invited by other people, which is great.
Lovely.
I don't know how many of those people also listen or they're being tricked in, but otherwise,
Lovely.
we'll take them. We'll bloody take them. It's a grand old time in that little
Agreed.
group, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I've got opinions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
It's unlike you.
Yeah.
I'm tired, Mason.
It's hot in here. It's not as hot as last time, but that's because this is nighttime.
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go to sleep.
Like
Not now.
immediately?
I'll wait till
Okay,
the
really?
show's
Yeah,
over.
terrific. Nice.
Yeah, that's everything. Next week, maybe Harry Potter, maybe other things. Who knows what the biggest news of the week may be, Mason? Who
Might
knows?
be Harry Potter.
Might be.
Might be other things.
Might be.
Yeah.
All right, Mason, grab that gem, Mason.
Grab that gem, James.
Well,
And grab that gem, everyone.
every one of you. Merry Christmas to you all. Do you reckon I can fit this up my nose?
That It's a small tripod, but it is too big to fit up your nose. But you should give it a try, though.
Okay, good. All right, see you next week.
Grab it, Jimmy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.